Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much. A very good morning to all of you present over here. First of all, I would like to welcome all of you in this state level one-day virtual workshop on research ethics and process of e-filing for patent. Inaugural program, we have Honorable Shri Sandeep Bakare, Secretary, Bharat Education Society RB, Chairman of this program, Dr. S.P. Dhanwate sir, Principal of NKS Model College Karanja Gadge, and we have the guest of honor, chief guest of this inaugural program, R.J. Tale sir, B.R. Sheshrao, Wankhede Mahavidyalaya, Paparkheda, and IQAC coordinator, Dr. U.P. Meshram sir, NKS Model College Karanja Gadge. The institution conducted various activities just like conferences, seminars, and workshops, etc., through college IQAC. Similarly, as this one-day virtual workshop organizing by IQAC NKS Model College Karanja Gadge. So I want to say something about the objective of this one-day workshop. The aim of this workshop are to improve the research quality and ethicness in research scholar to publish his research all over the world. Also, we learned that how to save or protect our research by filing patent. That is how to conserve or save our research from the copyright action.
Excuse me, sir.
So,
Anil, can you please ask Sangeeta Sore to mute because there's a lot of background noise coming. We are not able to hear you. So participants, please mute your, please mute. There is a mute button for everyone. Please mute. If you don't have any questions, please mute it. Let the host speak so that we can hear and understand. Thank you.
Yes, sir. I request all the participants, please mute your mic so it is clearly hear you the lecture. And thank you, sir, for advice. Now, I am audible?
Yes.
Okay.
Very clear, very clear.
Thank you very much. So we have the two sessions in this workshop. For the first session, we have the eminent research person, Dr. Hemant Kumar Chandak sir, Professor and Head, Department of Chemistry, GS College, Khamgaon. And he recently, he is a chairman of Board of Study in Chemistry, Sant Gadge Baba Amravati University, Amravati. So on the behalf of our college, I congratulate or felicitate Dr. Chandak sir for their chairmanship. Congratulations, sir.
Thank you.
Dr. Chandak sir delivered a lecture on the topic research ethics. And in the session 2, we have the eminent resource person, Dr. Neeraj Dhanwate ma'am, Associate Professor, Sant Gadge Baba Amravati University, Amravati. She delivered a lecture on process of e-filing for the patent. So once again, I welcome to all of you for this workshop. I conclude my introductory remarks. Thank you very much.
Means that you don't know, but are willing to find out. And innovation is the key to the future, but basic research is the key to future innovation. With this thought, on this auspicious occasion, it is a proud privilege to have Honorable Dr. Ramkrishna Tale sir. Dr. Ramkrishna Sunderao Tale.
नमस्कार.
Welcome, sir.
माझा आवाज
येतोय. Dr. Ramkrishna Gunderao Kale, sir, the principal and head Department of Economics, Barrister, Chitra Pandore College of Arts and Commerce, Aperkera, Celsius Township, District Nagpur. With academic qualifications MA, MPhil, PhD in Economics, MCom, BA, MA in Political Science, Sociology, and History. He is also a research guide. He awarded 10 PhD students, MSW degree awarded students are 25, and PhD working students are 6. His teaching experience in UG level is 12 years and 6 months. Srimati Rajkamal, Haura, Kirte College, Maula, District Nagpur. His total teaching experience is 30 years. Research publication, there are 60 research papers published, and he is also a Senate member. He was also the Senate member in RTM Nagpur University from 2008 to 2015. He was a member of different administrative committees, worked as an NSS program officer, secretary, chairman, executive member, trustee, treasurer of different administrative activities. So, now on this occasion, I would like to invite Dr. Ramkrishna Tale sir for their inaugural speech. Please, sir. Am I audible, sir?
Yes, ma'am, you are audible.
Okay, sir. Sir, I would like to invite you for the inaugural speech, sir.
How much?
Sir, I would like to invite you for your inaugural speech. Please, sir.
हॅलो, नमस्कार. हॅलो, आवाज येतोय सर?
Yes, sir. You are clear, sir. Your sound is clear.
Yes. आज दिनांक 12/7/23 ला नारायण काळे स्मृती मॉडेल कॉलेज कारंजा द्वारा आयोजित स्टेट लेवल वन डे व्हर्च्युअल वर्कशॉपला उपस्थित महाविद्यालयाचे प्राचार्य, माझे मित्र डॉक्टर संजयराव धनवटे, संस्थेचे सचिव आदरणीय श्री संदीपजी काळे साहेब, महाविद्यालयाची IQAC संपूर्ण टीम, कोऑर्डिनेटर डॉक्टर मेश्राम सर, हुसेन सर, विशेष म्हणजे माझ्या महाविद्यालयातील प्राध्यापक मोहोड सर, राठोड सर, सोनटक्के सर व सर्व उपस्थित प्राध्यापक मित्रांनो, आजचा विषय रिसर्च एथिक्स अँड प्रोसेस ऑफ ई फायलिंग फॉर पेटेंट यालाच आपण आपल्या शब्दात साधारणतः इंटेलेक्चुअल प्रॉपर्टी राईट असेही संबोधतो. आज आपण हा कार्यक्रम आयोजित करून एक प्रकारची जी काही आपल्या प्राध्यापक मित्रात
Noise is coming, sir. The noise is coming from background.
हॅलो सर, थोडं म्यूट करायला सांगा.
Hello.
या प्रकारचं आयोजन करून आपल्या प्राध्यापक मित्रांना, विद्यार्थी मित्रांना एक प्रकारची त्यांच्या आतमध्ये जे काही असलेले सुप्त गुण असतील किंवा त्यांच्या अंदर असलेलं जे काही कौशल्य असेल, सृजनशीलता असेल किंवा त्यांच्यात असणारी जी काही नवनिर्मिती असेल किंवा इनोव्हेशन ज्याला आपण म्हणतो, याला एक अत्यंत चांगली वाट करून देण्याचं किंवा त्यावर संशोधन करण्यास प्रवृत्त करण्याचं कार्य हे संपूर्ण महाविद्यालयाच्या
Tale sir, your mic is off. Please on your mic. You are not audible. Sorry, sir, please. Yes, sir.
तर आतापर्यंत बोललो, ऑफ होतं का सर्व? हॅलो,
ऐकू आतापर्यंत ऐकू, एक सेकंद बंद झाला होता मधात, ऐकू आलं.
तर आजचा हा विषय म्हणजे आपण याला सर्वसाधारण शब्दात आपण त्याला इंटेलेक्च्युअल प्रॉपर्टी राईट्स किंवा त्याला बौद्धिक संपदा कायदा असं संबोधतो. सर्वप्रथम बौद्धिक संपदा कायदा म्हणजे त्याची सर्वांना आपल्याला जाणीव आहेच, परंतु अशा स्वरूपाचा कायदा करण्याचं किंवा एखाद्यामध्ये जी असणारी जी काही नवनिर्मिती असते किंवा एखादं एक विशेष कौशल्य असते, कारण सर्वातच सर्व गुण संपन्न नसतो, परंतु नसतात, आणि एखाद्यात मात्र एक विशेष असा गुण दडलेला असतो किंवा त्याची त्याच्यात अत्यंत विकसित करण्याची कौशल्य विकसित करण्याची क्षमता दडलेली असते. उदाहरणार्थ आपण पाहिलेलं असेल की काही दिवसापूर्वी 10 वर्षापूर्वी एक मराठी मकरंद अनासपुरेचा एक सिनेमा आलेला होता आपल्याला, दे धक्का नावाचा. त्या सिनेमामध्ये त्या आपलं जी काही ऍक्टर होते त्यांनी एक असं यंत्र बनवलेलं होतं की जे एखाद्या कुठल्या गाडीला बसवलेलं असेल तर त्याच्या डिझेल किंवा पेट्रोलचं कमी क्षमतेत मोठ्या प्रमाणात ॲव्हरेज देण्याची ते यंत्र होतं. आणि नंतर आपण बघितलं की त्या संबंधित प्रकारचं त्या व्यक्तीनं रजिस्ट्रेशन केलेलं नव्हतं, आणि ते मध्यंतरी जेव्हा त्याला खऱ्या अर्थानं गरज भासली आणि त्यांनी त्या कल्पनेचा विकास करण्याचा किंवा पुढे घेऊन जाण्याचा किंवा ते यंत्र विकण्याचा किंवा तो गुण म्हणजे त्याचा अधिकार संपादन करण्याचा जेव्हा प्रयत्न केला होता, तेव्हा त्याला दुसरं कोणीतरी त्याच्यावर अधिकार ठेवलेला होता. आणि मग आपल्याला तो शेवटी त्याच्या मित्रानं कुठेतरी त्याचे राईट्स जपून ठेवलेले होते, त्याच्या कायद्यात त्यांनी रजिस्ट्रेशन केलेलं होतं, आणि त्यामुळे त्याला शेवटी त्याचा लाभ झाला. म्हणण्याचं तात्पर्य असं की या अर्थानं जे काही आपण संशोधन करतो, नवनिर्मिती करतो, त्या नवनिर्मितीलाच आपल्याला रजिस्ट्रेशन करणं सुद्धा तेवढंच महत्वाचं असतं. आणि म्हणून या एखाद्याला एखादी कल्पना सुचलेली असेल, एखादी आयडिया आलेली असेल, आणि त्या आयडियाला जर त्यांनी प्रत्यक्षात साकार करायचा आणि त्याच्या खऱ्या अर्थानं भविष्यात लाभ घ्यायचं जर ठरवलं असेल, तर त्याला वेळोवेळी तेव्हाच रजिस्ट्रेशन करणं हे सुद्धा तेवढंच महत्वाचं आहे. आता एखादा हा अधिकार म्हणजे कशा स्वरूपाचा असतो, तर आपल्याला सर्वांना जाणीव आहे की अशा स्वरूपाचं वर्ल्ड ट्रेड ऑर्गनायझेशन जे आहे आपल्या संपूर्ण जगाचं, त्या अंतर्गत सुद्धा एक ट्रिप्स म्हणून कायदा रजिस्टर्ड केलेला आहे. आणि दुसरी एक संस्था आहे विपो म्हणून, म्हणजे वर्ल्ड इंटेलेक्च्युअल प्रॉपर्टी ऑर्गनायझेशन, आणि याचा भारत सुद्धा सदस्य आहे. किंवा ह्या संपूर्ण जगात 26 एप्रिल ह्या प्रॉपर्टी राईट्स दिवस सुद्धा साजरा केला जातो, की तो याच अर्थानं की संपूर्ण देशातील जगातील लोकांना या संदर्भाचं म्हणजे या कायद्याचं ज्ञान व्हावं, आणि त्या अंतर्गत जे काही लाभ असतील ते प्रत्येकाने त्यांचे सुरक्षित करावेत, हा त्या मागचा कदाचित हेतू असेल. तर शोधकर्त्याला याचा जे काही त्यांनी एखादं संशोधन केलेलं असेल किंवा त्यांनी नवनिर्मिती केलेली असेल, तर त्याला त्याचा फायदा सुद्धा मिळत असतो. आणि एक प्रकारचा विशिष्ट काळाकरता त्या कायद्याच्या अधिकाराअंतर्गत जे काही वापर करायचा असतो याचा पेटेंटचा, तो अधिकार सुद्धा त्याला मिळत असतो. आणि मग अशा पद्धतीने ह्या शोधकर्त्याला जर एखादा अधिकार मिळाला, तर त्याला एखाद्या विशिष्ट कालावधीसाठी त्याला त्याची मुक्तेदारी बहाल केल्या जाते, आणि त्यातून त्याच्या शोधातून बाहेर आलेलं ज्ञान, माहिती असेल, संकल्पना असेल, एखादं साहित्य असेल, सादरीकरण असेल किंवा एखादं विशिष्ट सूत्र असेल, त्या सर्वांचा वापर करणे अथवा न करणे हे सर्वस्वी त्या शोधकर्त्याच्या मर्जीवर अवलंबून असते. आणि त्याच्या परवानगीशिवाय त्या शोधाचा वापर अन्य कोणीही करू शकत नाही, जोपर्यंत याच्या विशेष यांनी परवानगी दिली नाही. तर जर याला त्या संबंधित कायद्याचा स्वतःला वापर जर करायचा नसेल, तर त्याचा त्याला कोणाला तरी अधिकार देता येतो, आणि त्यापासून सुद्धा त्याला मोठ्या प्रमाणात म्हणजे काहीतरी जी काही उत्पन्न आहे ते त्याला कमवता येतं. आता याला असे अधिकार का दिले पाहिजे, कारण अनेकांचा ह्या पेटेंट कायद्याला अधिकार म्हणजे लाभ त्याला द्यावं, तर याची सकारात्मक बाजू आणि नकारात्मक बाजू आहे. आता आपण जर सकारात्मक बाजू जर पाहिली, तर एखाद्यानं तो शोध लावण्यासाठी वापरलेली बुद्धी असेल, त्यांनी घेतलेले श्रम असतील किंवा त्यांनी कष्ट घेतलेले असेल, किंवा त्यासाठी त्यांनी जो पैसा खर्च केलेला असेल, आणि त्याच्यासाठी त्याला आर्थिक लाभ मिळाला, यात दुमत नाही. बौद्धिक संपदा अधिकार हे समाजासाठी औद्योगिक संस्थांसाठी महत्वाचे आहेत. तंत्रज्ञानातील अर्थव्यवस्था आणि परस्परावलंबी व एकमेकाशी जुडलेला समाज यामुळे या कंपन्या कल्पक आहेत आणि सातत्याने त्यात नवीन तंत्रज्ञानाची निर्मिती करत असतात. अशा स्वरूपाचा जर आर्थिक लाभ जर त्याला देत असेल तर त्यात नव्यानं प्रत्येक जण एखादा संशोधक असेल, एखादी कंपनी असेल तर त्यासाठी एक विशिष्ट असं संशोधन करतात आणि त्या संशोधनामुळे होणारा जो समाजाला लाभ आहे तो अत्यंत उच्च प्रतीचा असतो. आणि त्यामुळे चालणारे इंजिन असेल, वाफेवर चालणारा आपला कुकर असेल, हे जे काही मानवाने दैनंदिन जे काही नवीन नवीन शोध आपल्या पुढ्यात येतात तर तो हा पेटंटचाच प्रकार आहे. आणि यामुळे परंतु अशा ह्या संशोधनाला अनेकांचा काही विरोध सुद्धा आहे, की कारण म्हटलं जाते की जर एखाद्याला एखाद्या वस्तूचा एकाधिकारच दिला असेल तर तो त्याचा भविष्यात मोठ्या प्रकारचा गैरवापर सुद्धा करू शकतो. आणि अनेकदा आपल्याला या माध्यमातून उदाहरणार्थ आपण बघितलं तर शेती क्षेत्रासारख्या एखादं औषध असेल, एखादी बियाणं असेल, या संदर्भात एखाद्या विशिष्ट उद्योजकाला किंवा एखाद्या कंपनीला जर याचा एकाधिकार दिला तर त्या एकाधिकारामुळे तो भविष्यात त्या संपूर्ण ग्राहकाची, समाजाची अनेकदा लूट सुद्धा करत असतो. आणि म्हणून हा असा एकाधिकार असावा किंवा नसावा याच्यावरती समाजात अनेक दुमत आहेत. परंतु आपल्या मते जर किंवा आपण जर त्याला म्हणत असू तर एखाद्याची जी सृजनशीलता वापरून, एखाद्याचं कौशल्यपणाला लावून जर अशा पद्धतीचा एखादा नव्याने शोध लावलेला असेल तर त्याला त्याचा आर्थिक लाभ किंवा त्याचा नेमका फायदा जो त्या घटकाला व्हायला पाहिजे तो व्हायलाच पाहिजे, यात विषयी कोणाचंही दुमत असणार नाही. परंतु त्याचा जो काही समाजासाठी वापर केला जातो तो समाजासाठी वापर करताना मात्र समाजाचं हितच जपलं जाईल आणि त्याचं वैयक्तिक जे काही त्याचा मुनाफा असेल किंवा नफा असेल त्यांनी तो ठेवायला पाहिजे. परंतु यापासून कोणाचीही सामाजिक किंवा आर्थिक लूट करता कामा नये याचेही भान त्या संबंधित पेटेंट कर्त्यांनी ठेवायला पाहिजे. आणि जर अशा पद्धतीचा जर त्यांनी पेटेंट केला असेल तर खऱ्या अर्थानं त्याला जे काही अधिकार विशिष्ट कालावधीसाठी मिळाले जाते आणि विशिष्ट कालावधीनंतर मात्र त्या अधिकाराचा तो जो काही अधिकार असतो पेटेंटचा तो संपुष्टात येतो आणि त्यानंतर तो कायदा किंवा तो जो काही पेटेंट असते ते संवर्गासाठी मोकळं होते. तर अशा पद्धतीचा लाभ अधिकाधिक आपल्या संशोधक बंधूंनी घ्यावा आणि यापासून आजचे जे आयोजन केलेले आहे त्या आयोजकाच्या माध्यमातून वेगवेगळ्या त्याच्या जे काही ट्रेड्स जे त्याच्यातले 5-7 जे काही ट्रेड आहे किंवा कॉपीराइट आहे किंवा औद्योगिक नामांकन, पेटेंट हे जे असे प्रकार आहेत यावरती प्रकाश टाकण्यासाठी जे इतर मार्गदर्शक येणार आहेत ते त्यावर टाकतीलच. आजच्या या कार्यक्रमाला महाविद्यालयाचे प्राचार्य आमचे मित्र डॉक्टर धनवटे सर यांनी मला आमंत्रित केलं त्याबद्दल आणि माझे मत व्यक्त करण्याचा माझी संधी दिली आपली ती त्याबद्दल मी आपला मनस्वी आभारी आहो. आणि मी आपलं जे काही उद्घाटनपर जे काही भाषण होतं ते संपवतो आणि विराम घेतो. धन्यवाद.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your insightful remarks. Great remarks. According to them, every problem can be solved as long as they use common sense and apply the right intent. Research, creating new knowledge. On this part, now, at last, I warmly request our today's inaugural commission chairman, Dr. Sanjay Dhanote sir, principal of our college, for their valuable guidance. Please, sir.
आवाज येतोय माझा?
Also, sir.
नमस्कार. आजच्या या IPR रिसर्च इथिक्स अँड प्रोसेसिंग ऑफ द ई फिलिंग ऑफ पेटेंट या वेबिनारच्या संदर्भात उपस्थित असलेल्या सगळ्यांना माझा नमस्कार. आजच्या या वेबिनारचे उद्घाटक आणि प्रमुख पाहुणे माझे मित्र प्राचार्य डॉक्टर RG टाले सर. आजच्या पहिल्या सेशनचे जे रिसोर्स पर्सन आहेत ते चांडक सर. दुसऱ्या सेशनचे रिसोर्स पर्सन डॉक्टर नीरज. माझे मित्र प्राचार्य डॉक्टर आशिष ससनकर सर. माझे दुसरे मित्र डॉक्टर हरिभाऊ विरुळकर सर. तसेच माझ्या महाविद्यालयाचे IQAC कोऑर्डिनेटर डॉक्टर उमेश मेश्राम सर. सर्व माझे प्राध्यापक वृंद महाविद्यालयाचे आणि या सेमिनारला जॉईन झालेले विविध महाविद्यालयाचे प्राध्यापक विद्यार्थी मित्र हो. आजचा जो वेबिनार आपण या ठिकाणी आयोजित केलेला आहे या संदर्भात प्रमुख पाहुणे आताच बोलून गेले. तर दिवसेंदिवस आपण पाहतो की जगामध्ये फार मोठ्या प्रमाणात विकास होतो आहे, जिकडे तिकडे फार मोठ्या प्रमाणात शोध लागत आहे. आता आपण आयपीआरच्या माध्यमातून म्हणजे आयपीआर म्हणजे इंटेलेक्च्युअल प्रॉपर्टी राईट्स म्हणजे स्वतःच्या बुद्धीचा वापर करून जी एखादी संपदा तयार केली जाते ती संपत्ती म्हणजेच बौद्धिक संपत्ती होय. परंतु अशा प्रकारची बौद्धिक संपत्ती आपण तयार करतो, पण ती बौद्धिक संपत्ती आपल्याजवळ असून त्याचा जर आपल्याला फायदा मिळत नसेल, त्याच्याबद्दल आपल्याला काही रिटर्न जर मिळत नसेल, तर त्या संपत्तीचा कुठलाही उपयोग नाही. आणि म्हणून याच्याबद्दल फार मोठा अवेअरनेस आपल्या समाजामध्ये आपल्या देशामध्ये असणं अत्यंत गरजेचं आहे. आपण पाहतो की अनेक ज्या गोष्टीचं संशोधन जे शोध लागलेले आहेत ते असं म्हणतात की विदेशात म्हणजे युरोपमध्ये खूप शोध लागले, अमेरिकेत खूप शोध लागले आणि मग आपण चर्चा करतो की अशा प्रकारचा शोध भारतात सुद्धा लागलेला होता फार पूर्वी काळामध्ये, पण त्याचे पेटंट्स भारताने घेतले नाही, त्यामुळे भारताला त्यावरती काही करता आलं नाही. आपण पाहतो की जसं म्हणतात की सगळ्यात पहिले विमानाचा शोध हा भारतामध्ये लागला. मुंबईला तुळपुरे नावाचे कोणी ग्रहस्थ होते, त्यांनी विमानाचा शोध लागला, पण विमानाचा शोध हा मात्र आयनच्या नावाने रजिस्टर झालेला आहे. कारण की ते नॉलेज आपल्याला नव्हतं, आपण त्याचं रजिस्ट्रेशन आपण घेतलेलं नव्हतं, त्याचं पेटंट आपण घेतलं होतं, त्याचे राईट
आपला रिसर्च पेपर तो हे आहे पीएचडीचा, तो याच्यात काउंट नव्हतो. तो प्रॉब्लेम हा लगेच आपलं येतं जुगाडतात ते एपीआय स्कोर मध्ये.
Sir, audio is not clear.
सर म्यूट करा सर, अनम्यूट करा सर. धनवटे सर अनम्यूट करा, अनम्यूट करा.
येत नाही ना कम्युनिकेट नाही.
तुला म्हटलं 10 वाजता पोरी येत नाही,
गजानन
11 वाजता येऊन जाणे
का बनवला
बनवलं.
आवाज येतोय माझा?
हो येतोय सर.
Sir, audible.
मी गजानन
भारत ही विकसित होणारी फार मोठी अर्थव्यवस्था आहे आणि भारतामध्ये फार मोठ्या प्रमाणात उद्योग सुरू झालेले आहेत, नवीन संशोधन सुरू होत आहेत, सुरू झालेले आहेत. फार मोठ्या प्रमाणात असं आपल्याकडे स्टार्टअप आहे. म्हणजे आज जर आपण विचार केला भारतामध्ये या अलीकडल्या काळामध्ये जवळपास 99,000 नवीन स्टार्टअप सुरू झालेले आहेत. या स्टार्टअपच्या माध्यमातून फार नवीन इनोव्हेशन, नवीन शोध हे लागणार आहे. पण ते शोध लागून चालणार नाही तर त्याचे राईट्स आपल्याला मिळाले पाहिजे, ते रजिस्टर आपण केलं पाहिजे, त्याचे पेटंट्स आपण घेतले पाहिजे. अशा अनेक ज्या गोष्टी जगामध्ये आहेत की त्याचे पेटंट्स आपण घेऊ शकलो नाही, पण त्या भारतामध्ये झालेल्या आहेत, भारतामध्ये त्या शोध लागलेला आहे, पण तो आपल्याजवळ पेटंट्स नसल्यामुळे आपण ते काही करू शकलो नाही. ते दुसऱ्याच्या नावावरती रजिस्टर झाले, दुसऱ्याला त्याचे फायदे मिळाले, त्याचे पैसे दुसऱ्याला मिळत आहेत. जसं आपण पाहतो की आपण SMS पाठवतो, SMS चे राईट्स संपूर्ण टेक्सास युनिव्हर्सिटीने घेतलेले अमेरिकेतल्या. म्हणजे त्या टेक्सास प्रत्येक SMS मागे मिळणारे जे पैसे आहेत त्याच्यातला काहीतरी हिस्सा त्या टेक्सास युनिव्हर्सिटीला मिळतो आणि अरबो डॉलर्स त्या टेक्सास युनिव्हर्सिटीला प्राप्त होतात. तर कारण की त्यांनी त्याचं पेटंट्स हे स्वतःकडे घेतलेलं आहे. अशा अनेक ज्या गोष्टी जगामध्ये आहेत की त्याचे पेटंट्स, त्याचे कॉपीराईट्स, जसं आपण हॅरी पॉटर नावाचं जे पुस्तक JK रॉनी यांनी लिहिलेलं आहे, त्या हॅरी पॉटरचं ते कॉपीराईट्स त्या रॉनीने घेतलेले आहे आणि त्याचं त्यामुळे उत्पन्न इतकं वाढलेलं आहे की असं म्हणतात की अमेरिकेच्या, इंग्लंडच्या राणीपेक्षा सुद्धा त्या JK रॉनीचं उत्पन्न हे जास्त आहे. म्हणजे या संदर्भात फार मोठ्या प्रमाणात अवेअरनेस भारतामध्ये झाला पाहिजे. भारत ही ग्रोईंग इकॉनॉमी असल्यामुळं भारतामध्ये खूप शोध लागणार, खूप नवीन नवीन गोष्टी तयार होणार आणि म्हणून हा अवेअरनेस येण्याच्या दृष्टिकोनातून अशा प्रकारचा आपण वेबिनार, वर्कशॉप आपण घेतोय. तर भारतामध्ये आपण पाहिलं की भारताला प्रत्येक गोष्टीचं पेटंट घेण्यासाठी WTOशी भांडावं लागलं. जसं हळदीचं पेटंट आहे, निंबाच्या झाडाचं पेटंट आहे, बासमती राईसचं पेटंट आहे. असे अनेक जे पेटंट्स आहे की ज्याची बौद्धिक संपदा त्याचं आपण निर्माण केली, पण त्याचे फायदे मात्र इतर देशांनी घेतले. त्यासाठी आपल्याला लवादमध्ये जावं लागलं, कोर्टामध्ये जावं लागलं, WTO कडे जावं लागलं आणि त्या माध्यमातून आपल्याला ते मिळवावं लागलं. तर आता ही परिस्थिती भविष्यामध्ये पुढे येऊ नये, सध्या आजच्या नवीन ग्रोईंग इकॉनॉमीमध्ये ही परिस्थिती निर्माण होऊ नये या दृष्टिकोनातून आपल्या इथल्या लोकांनी, आपल्या इथल्या नवीन तरुण उद्योजकांनी, तरुण संशोधकांनी याच्यामध्ये लक्ष घालावं, याच्याबद्दल अवेअरनेस ठेवावा आणि आपल्या प्रत्येक गोष्टीचा पेटंट्स आपल्याला कसं करता येईल, तिथे राईट्स कसे मागून घेता येईल, कॉपीराईट्स कसे घेता येईल, एखाद्या गोष्टीचा ट्रेडमार्क आपल्याला कसा म्हणून रजिस्टर करता येईल, या सगळ्या गोष्टीचा विचार आपल्याला करणं गरजेचं आहे. आणि त्या माध्यमातून अशा प्रकारच्या वेबिनार मधून, अशा प्रकारच्या वर्कशॉप मधून आपल्या विद्यार्थ्यापर्यंत, प्राध्यापकांमध्ये ही गोष्ट पोहोचवणं आम्हाला महत्वाचं वाटलं आणि म्हणून अशा प्रकारचे याचं आयोजन आपण या ठिकाणी केलं. या ठिकाणी आज वेळात वेळ काढून आमचे मित्र डॉक्टर टाले सर, त्यांनी वेळ दिला आजच्या चीफ गेस्ट आणि उद्घाटन भाषण केलं त्याबद्दल मी त्यांचा प्राचार्य म्हणून महाविद्यालयाचा त्यांचा आभारी आहे. तसेच पुढचे 2 सेशन आहेत. आमचे मित्र डॉक्टर हेमंत कुमार चांडक सर, नंतर ससनकर सर, नंतर डॉक्टर नीरज आणि विरुडकर सर यांचे सुद्धा मी या प्राचार्य म्हणून या महाविद्यालयाचा त्यांचे आभार मानतो की त्यांनी वेळात वेळ काढून आम्हाला आज हा वेळ दिलेला आहे. आणि या ठिकाणी माझ्या शब्दांना विराम देतो. धन्यवाद.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your valuable guidance. According to Kofi Annan, knowledge is power. Information is liberating. Education is the premise of progress in every society, every family. So, with this thought, now I would like to call Dr. Gaurav Pete, Department of Chemistry in Narendra College Model College for the vote of thanks of the inaugural function. Dr. Gaurav Pete. Audio? Yes, sir, you are audible.
आवाज ऐकू येत आहे? व्हेरी गुड मॉर्निंग. Function. Audible? Yes, audible? Yeah. A very good morning to one and all. It seems to be a
सर तुमचा माईक ऑफ झालाय.
It is, sir, you're not audible. Kindly check your mic and unmute it.
mic बंद करून द्या. Yeah, this is audible.
Yes,
Very
now,
good morning
loud
to
and
one and
clear.
all. It seems to be a great honor to propose a vote of thanks on this inaugural function. First of all, I would like to congratulate to this institute and our college and this committee for initiative efforts for this state level one-day virtual workshop on the research ethics and propose of e-filing for the patent. I, Gaurav Pete, Department of Chemistry, on the behalf of the organizing secretary and this state level one-day virtual workshop, the entire fraternity of that institution, I extend my most sincere thanks to the Dr. Sanjay Sanote sir, principal of our college and the chairperson of the inaugural function. Thank you, sir, for your remarkable words and your valuable presence. I extend a very heartily thanks to the honorable guest and inaugurator, Sri Sandeep Kale sir, Secretary, Bharat Education Society, RV, for gracing today's virtual workshop and providing us all the facilities for that, conducting such kinds of events. I would like to thank our honorable chief guest of our today's function, Dr. Rajiv Tale sir, Barrister Sheshra Wankade Mahavidyalaya, Khaparkhela. Thank you, sir, for giving a valuable time for your busy schedule to grace this occasion. Thank you very much, sir. I also extend my thanks to Dr. UP Meshram sir, IQC coordinator, NKS Model College Karanja, for this presence and their valuable thoughts. I would like to thank Professor Ratan Hussain sir, IQC co-coordinator and head department of mathematics of our college, for their introductory remarks, and special thanks to the organizing committee, all teaching, non-teaching staff and participants for their cooperation. Here I also concluding my vote of thanks. Once again, a warm thanks to all. Thank you very much.
Thank you,
My
sir.
turn.
Thank you very much. Here, inaugural function is over. Now, we start with the technical session first. So, I hand over the mic to Dr. Amit Yaur sir, Department of Chemistry, Narendra College.
Yes, I am audible.
Yes, sir.
Good morning to all respected sir, madam, and my dear friends. After completion of inaugural function, we progress towards the first technical session. I, Amit Yaul, welcome all dignitaries and participants to first technical session of state level one-day virtual workshop on research ethics and process of e-filing for patent, organized by IQAC, Narayanrao Kade Smriti Model College, Karanja Ghadge, District Wardha. For the first technical session, we have two eminent personalities, Principal Dr. Ashish Sasankar sir and Professor Dr. Hemant Kumar Chandak sir. At the outset, I welcome Principal Dr. Ashish Sasankar sir as a chairman of first technical session. It's my honor to introduce Dr. Ashish Sasankar sir. Dr. Ashish Sasankar sir did his MCA, MTech, MPhil Computer Science and PhD in Computer Science from RTM Nagpur University, Nagpur. He has rich experience of 24 years in the field of education and IT industry. Currently, he is working as a principal in the most prestigious college, Indraprastha New Arts, Commerce and Science College, Wardha, India. He is PhD guide for computer science in the Faculty of Science in RTM Nagpur University, Nagpur, and guiding many of his research scholars doing their PhDs in computer science in RTM Nagpur University, Nagpur. He has 112 national and international journal publication to his credit. He had registered 7 patents national and international level and more than 50 copyright materials. He written several books on programming language and computer science subjects. He is a member of IEEE and ICF. He had done more than 60 international and national certificates in IT field, Microsoft, Sun, Java, cyber security, mobile computing, and machine learning. Thank you, sir, being as a chairman of this session. Now I welcome Professor Dr. Chandak sir as a resource person of first technical session. It's my privilege to introduce Professor Dr. Hemant Kumar Chandak sir. Professor Hemant Kumar Chandak sir is presently working as a professor and head Department of Chemistry and IQAC coordinator at GS Science, Arts and Commerce College, Khamgaon, Buldhana. He has postdoc from Rutter University, USA, PhD in Organic Chemistry from SGBU, Sant Gadgil Amravati University, Amravati. His MSc from Sant Gadgil Amravati University, Amravati in 1998. His additional qualification is CSR UGC NET, SET and ICAR NET. His teaching experience is 21 years. He is a IQAC coordinator since from 15 years. He also awarded UGC Raman Fellowship for postdoctoral research in USA for 12 months, district level Best Teacher Award in 2020, community member of ACS 2020. He is also a member of BOS in chemistry of Sant Gadgil Baba Amravati University, Amravati. He has many collaborations like Professor Daniel Sedel, University of Florida, USA, Professor Sanjeev Zhade, Department of Chemical Sciences, IISER, Kolkata, Professor Goswami, Department of Biochemistry, AIIMS, Kalyani, Dr. Das, IICT, Hyderabad. He is also a reviewer of many journals published by like Elsevier, Fingerlink, ACS, RSC, Wiley Publication, etc. He is a PhD supervisor and guided 4 students for PhD and 5 students are working under him. He has published 2 books by Lambert's Publication, Germany. He published many research papers in international and national journal published by Elsevier, Fingerlink, ACS, RSC, Wiley. He has conference publication 6 publications, and 28 abstracts. He completed many research projects funded by UGC, CSIR, DST. His college got A grade under RFA for NAC and now mentoring 10 colleges for preparation. He delivered more than 50 resource talks at national level seminar and conferences on NAC, research, organic synthesis, etc. Thank you, sir. It's my pleasure to invite distinguished personality, Professor Hemant Kumar Chandak, sir, as a resource person of this session to enlighten us on the topic research ethics. Please, sir. Chandak, sir.
Yes. I hope I am audible.
Yes, sir. You're audible.
Okay, thank you. So thank you, Dr. Amit, for the kind words. Sometimes whatever is introduced may not be 100% true. Anyway, so I thank the organizer for taking this initiative, especially the team of Narendrao Kale Smriti Model College, Karanja Ghadge. And you have chosen a very wonderful topic for this event. And there will be 2 issues covered in this workshop, in this virtual workshop. One will be research ethics and second will be process of e-filing for patent, which is again very, very important. Both the topics are very important. I must thank our friend, chairman of the inaugural session, Principal Dhanwate sir, and the chief guest Tale sir, who has enlightened us with his experience and knowledge. Sir, give me 2 minutes. I have to receive an urgent call. Please hold on. Sincere apology. There was an urgent call which Amit sir, please allow me to share my screen because I
Okay, sir.
my time and
Sir, Chandak sir na host कराल. Yes, sir. Chandak sir.
Yeah, I am not able to share the screen.
Just a minute, sir.
Yeah.
Chandak sir.
Kindly make a co-host to the Chandak sir so that he can allow for that share that screen. Okay. And technical team also take care about that ki no one can unmute their mic, okay, during the session.
Just a minute.
That is also one of the requests.
Please, sir, wait for a moment.
Okay, you can continue. By that time, I will share some of my thoughts. You know, these topics nowadays has got a lot of importance. And both the resource person, inaugurator, as well as the chief guest and the principal of this college, he has already shared explained the importance of intellectual property. intellectual property, which has eventually become very, very important. Yeah, screen is visible, I hope. Yeah. Okay. Screen is visible. Amit sir, someone please help me.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So without wasting much of the time, let me directly start on the core part, which I'm supposed to do today. I will be covering an important topic today, which is about the research ethics. When it comes to the ethics, which is largely ignored area in every aspect of our life. ज्याला आपण नीतिमत्ता म्हणतो किंवा नीतिमत्ता म्हणतो, that is already missing in all aspects of our life. And maintaining ethics becomes very, very mandatory if you want to make our country a superpower. In that context, I would like to share some of my thoughts through this small presentation. In this, I will be, first of all, tell you the status of higher education in the country. We are the third largest higher education in the country, and I will tell you the status of higher education in the country. Then I will talk a little bit about research. What is research? What is motivation? Request host and co-host to please mute this so that there will not be disturbances. And in that, there will be two important aspects, like why do we undertake research? What is the motivation for research? And number two is what is the workflow for research? These are the two important aspects that I will be covering. Secondly, the core part of my talk will be centered around the publication ethics, where I will talk about what are the principles of publication ethics and what are the importance. What are the standard setting initiative that includes the COPE and WAME? What can be called as in publication misconduct? Many a times we don't know, it is just like you're traveling in a city and you don't know that it's a one way and you're traveling in the other direction, and all of a sudden you say, I was not aware that it was a one way, and I was traveling in a wrong direction. If you're not aware, you are supposed to be guilty there. So getting aware is also important. What comes under publication misconduct? What comes under violation of publication ethics? We should know. What are the methods for the identification of publication misconduct, and making ourselves aware about the predatory publishers and the journal. So this is what I will cover in my today's talk session. Coming to the first point, which is about the status of higher education in the country. You will be very happy to know that we are the third largest higher education system with around 1,000 universities, 40,000 plus colleges, 20,000 standalone institutions like nursing and others. Gross enrollment ratio of the country being 26.3%, and that of Maharashtra is about 32%. We are well ahead in terms of gross enrollment ratio. The scenario you all know, we have a number of non-grant colleges. Number of colleges increase, number of passing percentage in 10+2 increase, and eventually the gross enrollment ratio of the Maharashtra has also increased. This is the data from AISHE report 2019. Maybe data may be little bit 2-3 years old, but more or less same trend is, maybe we may have say 1,100 universities, around 50,000 colleges now, because we are in 23 now. So considering this, maybe gross enrollment ratio has reached to 30%, because NEP has come into place, and NEP targets the gross enrollment ratio of the country to be 50% by 2030. So by 2030, the government aims to have the gross enrollment ratio. Gross enrollment ratio, I'm sure everyone knows, but still I will tell you, gross enrollment ratio refers to the enrollment of the student in the relevant age group into the higher education system. Like the population of 10+2, म्हणजे 12वीची जी वयाची जी विद्यार्थी हायर एज्युकेशन मध्ये एंटर करतात त्याला ग्रॉस एनरोलमेंट रेशो म्हणतात. We are next to US and China in terms of size. So in terms of quantity, we are very good, right? We are excellent in terms of quantity, but we know all is not well. There are many challenges that we are facing, and these challenges are no assurance of quality livelihood, low density of quality colleges. As I mentioned, gross enrollment ratio is increasing, but when it comes to the quality of the colleges, everyone knows the answer. The reason for this is we are not able to give them a quality, no, there is no assurance of quality livelihood to the student who is entering into the higher education and going out of the system. So even in the present scenario, 70% of the population is out of the higher education system. The reason may be there may be many reasons. Some of them are like stagnancy of the curriculum. Being a chairman of the Board of Studies in Chemistry of Amravati University, we are right now framing the syllabus for the CBCS as well as NEP for PG UG, and we see that it's very difficult to change the curriculum because of the mindset of the people, and stagnancy of curriculum is one of the reasons that we are not able to attract the student into the higher education system. There is a crushing shortage of faculty, recruitment ban, lot of technical hurdles. So crushing shortage of faculty is one of the reasons. No skill component in our curriculum, or very minimal skill component in our curriculum, and detachment of the youth due to the social media. They spend most of their time on OTT and the social media platform, but very few are engaging themselves in acquiring knowledge and skills. And yet important parameter is there is no matching of demand and supply. Like what industry want and what our higher education system is providing, there is a huge gap between the demand supply, and that makes it makes our system, you can call that we are third largest, but when it comes to the quality, we are immediately lagging behind. And this is obvious from the rankings. You see, we talk about NAAC grade accreditation, we talk about NIRF rankings. But when it comes to the global context, you see where we are in the global context. This is a data again for Cockrelly-Simons QS ranking, which is given by Cockrelly-Simons. And you see, these are the top 5 institutions like MIT, Stanford, Harvard, Caltech, and University of Oxford. These are the top 5 institutions, and they play a sort of poker among themselves. Sometimes Stanford becomes one, sometimes Harvard becomes 1, 2. So these 5 institutions are top universities, top institutions in the world, and they will not allow any other institutions to come in the top 5. Now you will say ki, chalo koi baat nahi, top 5 mein nahi hai, lekin what about where do we stand? Let us have a look at the data. These are the top institutions in the country which gets highest rank. First of them is IIT Bombay, which gets a rank of 172. IISc Bangalore getting 185. IIT Delhi getting a rank of 193. It means that there is no institutions in the top 170. म्हणजे 170 मध्ये पण आपण कुठेच नाहीये. 170 नंतर आपली रँकिंग सुरू होते. So it means that there are 170 plus institutions which are ahead than our top premier institutions. And again, if you do, I have done a lot of research on this data, and I found that only 8 institutions are in the top 500, and only 29 institutions across the country in the top 1000. You know, I have told you the size of our higher education system, where we have around more than 1000 universities and around 50,000 colleges. And of that, only you see only 28 plus 9 means 37. Only 37, or roughly you can consider only 40 or 50 institutions are there in the top 100, top 1000. So it is indeed a worrisome situation. And who will take the lead to make our institutions in these rankings? It is we need to take the initiative. And what is the reason? The reason is quality research and the quality output. We may be very good in terms of quantity, but when it comes to the quality, we are lagging much behind, and we should accept this reality. One of the reason is we know that when we join higher education system as a teacher, we as assistant professor nowadays, so as a teacher, we only focus our attention on the teaching. So our job is to only whatever the curriculum designed by the university, affiliating university, we used to deliver that. But have we tried to incorporate the research component in our teaching? That is a major flaw, and the major reason is the lack of research, and that is why, this is very, very important that we should incorporate research component in our teaching. And one of the possible solution is using the RBPT, research-based pedagogy. A pedagogy that is based on, our routine pedagogy includes chalk and talk, where we come and deliver the content. So whatever is written in the textbook, we never tell them that there is a scope for creation of the new knowledge, because research basically means the creation of new knowledge. So can we create a knowledge with the help of our students, engaging our students in the research-based activities, maybe a very small activity? That is a question, and that can be done by every teacher. And if we do so, certainly we can enhance the our performance in the area of research, and that will certainly improve our rankings. It may take time, but it will certainly happen. So this is what I hope I was able to, in between someone can talk and tell me. I hope I was able to convey the first part of my talk, which is about the status of higher education in the country. Yeah, things are going well, Amit sir.
Sir, going well, sir, and that is very precise and clear, sir. You can go ahead. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Let me go ahead, and now people may ask, what is research? Because research is not means you have to complete certain degree. Research is not getting PhD. Even an undergraduate student entering into the higher education may, for that example, say BSc Part 1 student can do some research, and he can contribute. His tiny contribution can matters a lot, because small tiny things can make a bigger things in future. So this is how we need to inculcate the research culture in our institutions. I have my overseas experience. I have spent a year at Rutgers University, USA, and I came to know that in US, they start, training their students for research right from the schools. In the schools, they give the student something like creative writing. They assign the student to prepare certain reports. They use all the pedagogies that will inculcate the innovative thinking and research attitude among their kids. And that is why US is a #1 country all across the globe. So let me come to the core part. What is research now? Research is not something, as I mentioned, that it is not only getting a PhD or getting some like MPhil, or maybe it is not a compliance of any degree. Rather, it is a voyage to discovery. It is a journey, a joy, I would say intellectual joy. It is an attitude, an experience, a method of critical thinking, an art of scientific and systematic investigation, an opportunity to commit mistake. Because the wonderful part of doing research is entering into the research is, even if you commit mistake, no one bothers. Sometimes you will be rewarded for your mistakes. Because, I'll tell you one example. The story of artificial sweetener. Artificial sweetener, many of us who are diabetic, they are using artificial sweetener to add into the milk and tea. So the story of artificial sweetener is like one of the student, he was from, I guess, from Maharashtra only. I don't know his name. And he was doing certain research in foreign university. I don't know the name of the university also, but I will just tell you the gist of the story. He was trying to get some compound. He was from chemistry. He was doing some experiment in the laboratory, and he got certain compound. He called his supervisor, and his supervisor asked him to test it. He said, test it and confirm. Instead of test, what he did, he tested it with the tongue, and he found that that compound is sweet in nature. And this is how artificial sweetener came into existence. And now it is having a major share in the pharmaceutical industry. Artificial sweetener are having, nowadays many companies are coming up with their own artificial sweeteners. So even if you commit mistakes, so understand a person from English can understand the difference between test and test. So even if you commit some mistake, you may be rewarded, and this is the wonderful thing that is associated with the research. Ultimately, you may say, okay, this is okay, but what is the major aim of research? The aim of the research is contribution to the domain of knowledge. Whatever knowledge is existing, for example, you know, I am from science, so science works on the principles and the theories and the hypotheses that have been established by various scientists. For example, Newton's laws of motion. So with the help of Newton's laws of motion, we can do a lot of things. We can add so many knowledge into the domain. We can contribute to the domain of knowledge by doing so many experiments based on the Newton's laws of motion. And one of the application of the Newton's laws of motion is the Mars mission by India. So using the Newton's laws of motion, we could have our successful Mars mission. So what I'm trying to tell you is main aim of the research is to contribute to the domain of knowledge, and it can be volunteer, it can be funded. Sometimes you have to spend a penny from your pocket. Sometimes you can get funding from funding agency. It can be long term, it can be short term, depending upon the time constraints available with you. Now, this is what research is all about. Now, my next part is, why do we research? Is it only one of the motivation for research is to get a degree, compliance to get a degree, to write doctor before our name, and people think that you may get respect, higher job, incentives. Like you all know, from assistant to associate, associate to professor, we have to do some research, and we have a category 3 in our API. This is what is, these are supposed to be the professional motivations. Other than this, many people, they think that they should have a desire to face the challenges that are in solving the unsolved problems. I used this word earlier also, intellectual joy. I tell you, intellectual joy is something which only a person who is engaged in research can get. Because you will not be able to get this joy by doing the routine things. But if you are able to do something well, something creative, definitely you are going to get intellectual joy. I tell you, in 2014, in fact, let me tell you my story. I did my PhD from Amravati University in 2002. So I found that my PhD was not that great. I admit very honestly and very openly. But later on, 2009 onwards, I have started my own independent research group, where a few students who were doing MPhil, they joined me. And with the help of those students, they were actually working in industry. With the help of those students, I acquired certain skills and knowledges, and we have designed some new problems. And we have published our first paper in 2009 in Catalysis Letters. And thereafter, we have never published a paper without Web of Science or Scopus Index journal. So all our papers 2009 onwards are in Web of Science or Scopus Index journal. A small contribution. I have published only 40 papers so far. So, but all these around 27 or 30 papers, they are in Scopus and Web of Science. So the intellectual, I'm telling you the story of intellectual joy. When we published our paper in 2014 in one of the prestigious journal by Royal Society of the Chemistry, and the journal was RSC Advances. And I tell you, we have wrote that paper for a year. I mean, writing the manuscript took 1 year. Our job was done in late December 12, we have finished. And then we have continued writing the paper. And ultimately, we could publish our paper in 2014. So I tell you, the moment our paper was accepted, I was so excited. I was so overjoyed. And that sort of joy, I tell you, is only a thing that you can experience. It cannot be expressed in word. And motivation for research could be service to the society, that I want to do, like what Tale sir told, and what Dhanwade sir told, we are having a lot of problems in the society. can we solve those problems of the society? Like, there is 70% water on the earth, but how much water is potable? Can be drink? Then, there are a number of issues associated with health and hygiene. There could be small problem like, traffic control in the city. These are the very common problems. But can we think of providing solution to these problems by doing certain research? For example, there are certain projects, for example, certain irrigation projects, some certain dam is to be constructed. Then that dam is to be constructed means a lot of research is to be done. You have to take the help of geologists, you have to take the help of geological survey people, you have to take the help of chemists to know the soil quality, to know the water content in the soil, to know the water level, isn't it? So a lot of things will come into play. You need to know the geography. So these are some of the areas where we can do a lot of research. A lot of scope is there to do, because research begins with a question. Question means a problem. A problem to finding a solution to a problem is research. This is what I believe. And it could be anything else. Sometimes what happens, ki baba माझा senior आहे, माझा junior आहे, PhD आहे आणि मी नाही आहे म्हणून मी पण PhD केलं पाहिजे म्हणून sometimes people enter into it could be anything else. Motivation could be anything else. But I appreciate every motivation, and I say ki everyone should be enter into the research and they should make whatever the small contribution. As I mentioned now, a research starts with a question, means curiosity. It starts with a question. Now, based on the amount of the knowledge you have, you try to answer your question. Einstein once said that, not Einstein, Stephen Covey. Stephen Covey has written a wonderful book called 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. And in that book, he has used one quote, which I like most, that significant problems cannot be solved at the level of the thinking with which they have created. So if you want to solve a problem, म्हणजे एखादा प्रॉब्लेम जर क्रिएट झाला असेल त्याचं सोल्युशन त्याच लेवलच्या थिंकिंगने होऊ शकत नाही, त्याच्यावर जाऊन विचार केल्यानंतरच त्याचं सोल्युशन मिळू शकतो. So you cannot limit your thinking. Normally what happens, you have certain question. For example, you want a good potable drinking water. Now, if you want to solve that question, whatever the knowledge about water you have, you will invest that knowledge and you will define one problem. But if you want to solve the problem of the society, you have to think beyond, and you have to think something beyond which is not known to you. And in that case, whatever you do using your amount of the knowledge that you know is referred as basic research. Then what happens? This basic research will be transformed into an applied research with the advancement of technology. And later on, just a moment. Hello. Huh? Okay, sorry. Once again, apology, sincere apology. Later on, it becomes application development. For example, let us say your mobile phone. Now, just now, Dhanvade sir cited the example of SMS, which is now an intellectual property of the Texas University. So now, a lot of things have changed. Your SMS, which was like a text message in your phone, now it has been converted into a WhatsApp message, Facebook message, and ultimately people have come up with the applications like WhatsApp. So ultimately, what has happened? It has made, now SMS has been updated with MMS. Then you can send videos, you can directly send a photo nowadays with the help of WhatsApp, Facebook, and other social media platforms. So what these are meant for? These are meant to improve the quality of life. The ultimate aim of the research is to improve the quality of life. Now we should think of, can we make our research to ultimately, even if you do a basic research which cannot be directly applicable today, but eventually if you are contributing, your contribution can be transformed into, your application can be transformed into your basic research can be transformed into applied research and later on to applied research, and eventually it will improve the quality of life. So we should never think our research should be directly focused in providing the solution to the directly to the farmers or directly to the society, but it can be a small tiny contribution can make a lot of changes. This is what I personally believe. Now let me move forward and tell you how is the research idea or research journey flows. As I mentioned, it starts with a question, and you get certain solution to it in the form of an idea. You look for a certain partner. Partner could be for funding. Partner could be for having certain expertise in a particular area. It could be your PhD supervisor. It could be your teacher. Then you write something called proposal, means you define your research question and you define your research problem. Then you enter into the research process. And the research process starts with simulating, doing some experiment, observing, collection of data. All this comes under the research process. Once you get that data, then you manage the data. Managing the data means you compile all your data, and managing the data, later on you analyze the data. Later on, after that, what happens? You compile your findings and you share your data, and that data is shared in the form of a publication. Whatever you have published will be gone through, other researcher will go through that publication, your research findings, and will use your research findings to solve their problems. So this is how your research cycle goes on. It starts with a question, ends with a question. And in doing so, the byproducts are what you call it as an intellectual property, or in the form of a research publication, isn't it? And it will be actually the contribution to the domain of knowledge. Whatever you are publishing will be a contribution to the domain of knowledge. So while doing research, how will you tell that a particular person is successful researcher or not? Like Amit sir introduced me and told me that I have done postdoc from Rutgers. I am a chairman of board of studies nowadays. Then I have published 40 papers, written 2 books, guided 4 students for PhD. Now, can I say my research cycle is productive? The research cycle will be productive only when you are having good number of quality publications. This is very, very important. Very, very important. When will you get a good quality publication? You will get good quality publication when you enter into a good research process. When will be your research process will be good? When your proposal was good. When your proposal will be good? When your research idea was good. And when will be your research idea will be good? When you do a systematic research review. So, that is why I have mentioned a word cycle. If you are not referring to a good content, you are not going to get a good idea. If you are not going to get a good idea, you are not able to write a good proposal. If you're not able to write a good proposal, your research process cannot be good. If your research process is not good, then forget about the good quality publication. This is how the research workflow goes on. Okay. Now, as I mentioned, that one of the important aspects of the research is publication. What are the different means of research publication? It could be book chapter, conference proceeding, journal article, a newspaper article also, because ultimately you are providing you can write wiki, means Wikipedia, you can write on Wikipedia your findings, your thesis. These are some of the things. And why is research publication important? The research publication is important because if you have good publications, you will be able to write good proposal. If you are able to write good proposal, you are able to grab funds. If you are able to grab funds, you are able to do good research and publish good paper. Again, this is a cycle. Now you may ask me the question, where to start? I would say that as a beginner, what you should do, you should start reading only authentic research material, then only you will be able to write some good paper, and then only you will be able to get grants from the funding agency. Okay. Now coming to the core part, and it is about the publication ethics, because I know the person who is having more number of publications. Say, as I mentioned, I have only 40 publications to my credit. I know the people who are much younger than me, maybe 10-15 years younger than me, and still they have 100 plus publication. And when you look at the qualities, I'm not talking about everyone, but there are few, they are having 100 plus publication, but when you look at the quality, if you ask them how many of them are Scopus Index, how many of them are Web of Science Index, even NAAC is also asking for the link to the Web of Science and UGC care nowadays, isn't it? The reason is the government also want our teacher fraternity to enter into the quality publication. And that is why following the ethical principles is very, very important. And research publication ethics or research ethics refers to the ethical principles and the standards that researchers should follow conducting and reporting their research findings. So when you conduct research, when you report your findings in the research publication, you should be following these 7 principles. Principle number 1 is honesty. We should report our findings truthfully, accurately, without exaggeration or misrepresentation. Because if you do so, other researcher will be misguided. I'll tell you one of the example in organic chemistry. There was one reaction which was published in a very good journal, and that reaction was telling us that the reaction yield is 90%. When we tried that reaction, we could not go beyond 45%. We tried it 3-4 times, but we cannot go beyond 45% yield. So we thought that we are doing something wrong. Then we did some more research on the papers published by the same group. And we found that the authors who have published that papers, they have exaggerated and misrepresented their data. And that is why, so unnecessarily, we have to spend our time for doing the same reaction 3-4 times in order to achieve that yield. I was telling my student, you are doing something wrong. If it is reported, you should get it. But he was telling me, sir, I am trying my best, but I am not getting beyond 45%. So this is how honesty is very, very important. Whatever you get, you should be able to write your data. There should be objectivity. You should conduct your research in an unbiased manner and avoid any conflict of interest. Sometimes what happens, there may be a common research area. Sometimes I know people, they dare to rule out the findings of other. And sometimes the people are there who are just trying to align their findings with the earlier findings. म्हणजे एखाद्याने काही रिसर्च केला असेल, त्यांनी लिहिलं असेल की बाबा हे केल्याने असं असं होते, आणि आपल्याला लक्षात आलं की हे केल्याने तसं नाही होत, त्याचे उलट होते. बट स्टील एकतर आपण त्याला एकदम विरोध करतो किंवा मग त्याला एकदम त्याला अलाइन करून टाकतो, मग आपले रिझल्ट काही पण येऊ. सो दिस इज हाऊ you have to be very objective. You have to be very you have to protect the confidentiality of the participants. If you're doing some survey and you're engaging people to share their data, then you should basically protect their confidentiality. Respect for human subject. Make sure that participants are treated and respected with respect and dignity. And authorship, this is again an issue. All authors who have contributed significantly to the research should be acknowledged and given credit. एक ट्रेंड आहे, नाव नाही घेत मी, पण एक ट्रेंड आहे. एका व्यक्तीचे एका वर्षामध्ये 50-60 पेपर आणि चांगल्या जर्नलमध्ये. मग मी विचारलं हे असं कसं, तर मग त्यांनी सांगितलं की माझे जे गाईड आहे, त्यांचे जे गाईड आहे, त्यांचंही नाव त्याच्यामध्ये टाकावं लागतं आम्हाला. म्हणजे मी आणि माझा स्टुडंट जर काम करतो, तर मी माझ्या पेपरमध्ये कोणाचं नाव टाकतो, माझ्या गाईडचं, जस्ट टू ऑनर हिम. अँड व्हॉट इज हिज कॉन्ट्रीब्युशन. इथे थोडंसं ऑथरशिपच्या बाबतीत थोडंसं क्लॅरिटी असायला पाहिजे. जो ऍक्च्युअल काम करेल, ही शुड बी द फर्स्ट ऑथर. जो त्याला सुपरवाइज करेल, ही शुड बी करस्पॉन्डिंग ऑथर. एखाद्या वेळेस एखाद्या प्रोजेक्टमध्ये 2 लोक मिळून बरोबरीने काम करतात, तर बोथ द ऑथर शुड बी गिव्हन इक्वल क्रेडिट. जॉईंट फर्स्ट ऑथरशिप कॅन बी गिव्हन टू द ऑथर्स. आणि ज्यांनी कामच नाही केलं त्याचं नाव चुकूनही पेपरमध्ये टाकल्या गेला नाही पाहिजे. माझे अनेक मित्र ते म्हणतात दादा एखाद्या पेपरमध्ये तुमचं माझं नाव टाका ना. आय सेड आय एम सॉरी, आय विल नॉट डू दॅट. सो हा एक महत्वाचा पार्ट आहे. दिस ऑल्सो कम्स अंडर पब्लिकेशन एथिक्स. त्याच्यानंतर अवॉइड प्लॅजरिझम, दुसऱ्याचीच कंटेंट उचलून नाही करायचे. डेटा मॅनिप्युलेशन, अवॉइड मॅनिप्युलेटिंग डेटा ऑर रिझल्ट. These are the different 7 principles of ethical principles that should be followed while doing the research. What for we should do this? Publication ethics is very, very important in ensuring the scientific integrity. Now imagine की सगळ्यांनीच चोऱ्या करायला सुरुवात केल्या, सगळ्यांनीच या 7 प्रिन्सिपलचं फॉलो नाही केलं. What will happen? Now let me ask you one more question to the participants. Do you believe that the politicians in Maharashtra, they are very honest and sincere to their profession? त्यांच्या इंटिग्रिटीवर प्रश्न विचारलाय मी. कोणीतरी मला मदत करा या प्रश्नाचं उत्तर देण्याकरता.
नो सर.
नो सर है की नाही. म्हणजे तुमचं नो सर म्हणणं आहे, बाकीच्यांचं कदाचित असंही असेल एखाद्यांचं, पण मॅक्सिमम लोकांचं नो नसेल. बिकॉज दे हॅव लॉस्ट देअर इंटिग्रिटी. ट्रू. तर याच्यामध्ये काय आहे की असं इमॅजिन करा की नाउअडेज यू नो व्हॉट इज द व्हॅल्यू ऑफ अवर पीएचडी. परत मी थोडस कडू पण काय म्हणू त्याला महत्वाचा मुद्दा. एखादा व्यक्ती पीएचडी झाला तर त्याला जो सन्मान आजच्या 10 वर्ष आधी 15 वर्ष आधी मिळायचा तो आज मिळतो का? हा पण एक प्रश्न आहे.
मुळीच नाही मिळत.
मुळीच नाही मिळत. त्याचं कारण हा आहे सर की आपण हे जे पब्लिकेशन एथिक्सला आपण वाऱ्यावर सोडून आपण पुढे काम केल्यामुळे काय झालंय की आपली जी इंटिग्रिटी आहे ती गेली आहे आणि पीएचडी काय आहे ते तर तसंच होऊन जाते. म्हणजे अशी स्टेटमेंट पानपट्टीवाला देतो तुम्हाला बाहेरचा. म्हणजे नॉट लाईक टीचर्स देतात ते गोष्ट वेगळी आहे, बिकॉज दे नो पार्ट अँड पार्सल इन अँड आउट ऑफ द सिस्टम. पण एखादा बाहेरचा व्यक्ती जो हायर एज्युकेशनच्या बाहेरचा आहे तो व्यक्ती आपल्या पीएचडी वर कमेंट करतो काय? पीएचडीला काय आहे 2 वर्षात पीएचडी करतो तो. सो हा जर का झालं तर मला सांगा की आपल्या रिसर्चला ज्याला आपण म्हणतो की बाबा यांनी मान मिळाला पाहिजे, सन्मान मिळाला पाहिजे, ते आपल्यासाठी काय होईल की आपल्याला ते आपले पीएचडी असूनही लोक स्वतः पुढे डॉक्टर लिहिणार नाही. हा एक महत्वाचा पार्ट होणार आहे याच्यामध्ये. सेकंडली दुसऱ्या याच्यातला महत्वाचा जो भाग आहे तो आहे की ट्रान्सपरन्सी आणि अकाउंटेबिलिटी. तिसरा जो पार्ट आहे की प्रोटेक्टिंग ह्युमन सब्जेक्ट. म्हणजे डेटा कोणाचा वापरायचा. माझ्याकडे एक माणूस आहे, पेटेंटवर आपण बोलला थोड्या वेळापूर्वी. एक माणूस आहे, आपल्याला माहिती आहे की ग्रामीण भागामध्ये बरेचसे लोक सर्पदंश किंवा अनेक मुद्द्यांवर औषधी वगैरे देतात, किंवा कोणी लिव्हर जॉन्डिसवर औषधी, कावीळ झाल्यावर औषधी देतो. नऊ हे बेसिकली कोणाचा राईट आहे? जो व्यक्ती, ज्या व्यक्तीला त्या झाडापाल्याचं जाणकारी आहे, ज्याला त्याच्या वडिलांनी किंवा त्याच्या पूर्वजांनी सांगितलंय, त्याचं नाव न टाकता माझ्यासारखा एखादा हुशार माणूस काय करतो की त्याच्याकडून डेटा घेतो, त्याच्याकडून माहिती घेतो आणि त्याच्यावर पेटंट स्वतःच्या नावाने पब्लिश करतो. असे पण प्रकार होत आहेत सर. तर दिस इज नॉट गुड. आणि याच्यामुळे काय होणार आहे की आपली जी प्रतिमा आहे ती अगदी मलिन होणार आहे. फेअरनेस आणि इक्विटी येईल आणि पब्लिक ट्रस्ट, याच्यावर मी सुरुवातीलाच बोललो, इंटिग्रिटी आणि पब्लिक ट्रस्ट रिलेटेड आहे. आणि लोकांचा विश्वास राहणार नाही, आणि विश्वास जर आला नाही तर आपल्या रिसर्चला काहीच अर्थ राहणार नाही. मग याच्यासाठी आता काय काय कुठल्या कुठल्या एजन्सीज आहेत का जे पब्लिकेशन एथिक्ससाठी काम करतात? 2 महत्वाचे एजन्सी आहे. एक आहे वेम, त्याचं नाव आहे वर्ल्ड असोसिएशन ऑफ मेडिकल एडिटर्स. दिस इज ओनली रिलेटेड टू द मेडिकल जर्नल्स. ज्याच्यामध्ये 1830 मेंबर्स आहे आणि ज्यामध्ये 1000 पेक्षा जास्त जर्नल आहे, 92 पेक्षा जास्त कंट्रीजचे. आणि वेम काय करते? वेम करते की इट फॅसिलिटेट द कोऑपरेशन कम्युनिकेशन अमंग द एडिटर्स ऑफ द पियर रिव्ह्यूड मेडिकल जर्नल. काही स्टँडर्ड सेट केलेले आहे त्यांनी, एडिटोरियल स्टँडर्ड सेट केलेले आहे. प्रोमोट प्रोफेशनलिझम थ्रू एज्युकेशन, सेल्फ क्रिटिसिझम अँड सेल्फ रेग्युलेशन. म्हणजे स्वतःला मान्य करायचे काही नियम बनवून दिलेले आहे. ऑथरनी काय करायला पाहिजे, रिव्ह्युअरनी काय करायला पाहिजे, जर्नल्सनी काय करायला पाहिजे, पब्लिकेशन हाऊसनी काय करायला पाहिजे, हे सगळ्या गोष्टी त्यांनी दिलेल्या आहेत. एनकरेज रिसर्च ऑन द प्रिन्सिपल्स अँड प्रॅक्टिस ऑफ मेडिकल एडिटिंग. हा वेम झाला. वेमचा आपला जास्त संबंध येत नाही कारण मेडिकलचे कमी असतील, पण याबद्दल मला नाही माहिती लोकांना माहिती आहे की नाहीये. दुसरी जी एजन्सी आहे ती आहे कोप, कमिटी ऑन पब्लिकेशन एथिक्स. ही कमिटी ऑन पब्लिकेशन एथिक्स जी आहे ही पण 1997 मध्ये उदयास आलेली आहे. याचं पण काम तेच आहे. अँड इट इज अ लिडिंग ऑथॉरिटी इन ऑन पब्लिकेशन. आपल्याला माहिती आहे आपण मोस्ट ऑफ अवर फॅकल्टी मेंबर्स दे पब्लिश पेपर इन ओपन ऍक्सेस जर्नल. 1500, 1500, 5000 देऊन आपण पेपर पब्लिश करतो. ओपन ऍक्सेस जर्नल युजली चार्ज सम फीस टू द इन द नेम ऑफ पब्लिकेशन चार्जेस. ते जर्नल कोपचा मेंबर आहे का नाही हे चेक करायला पाहिजे. तो जर का कोपचा मेंबर असेल तर त्याला ते बंधनकारक आहे की त्याने ते गाईडलाईन्स फॉलो केल्या पाहिजे. यांनी 2017 मध्ये कोअर प्रॅक्टिसेस डेव्हलप केल्या, ज्या आधी कोड ऑफ कंडक्ट नावाने होत्या, त्याला आता कोअर प्रॅक्टिसेस म्हटलंय. त्या कोअर प्रॅक्टिसेस जे आहे त्याच्या काही सार आहे. अँड इन दॅट दे हॅव गिवन सर्टन कोअर प्रॅक्टिसेस फॉर एडिटर्स, पब्लिशर अँड फॉर ऑथर्स. याच्यामध्ये फार कोपच्या वेबसाईटला गेल्यानंतर काही फ्लो चार्ट्स मिळतील तुम्हाला, की एखादा एथिकल इश्यू झाला. फॉर एक्झाम्पल एथिकल इश्यू कोणते असतात? प्लॅजरिझम, फाल्सिफिकेशन, ऑथरशिपचा डिस्प्यूट. बाबा काम तर मी केलं, माझं नाव पेपरमध्येच टाकलं नाही. मग अशा केसमध्ये काय करायचं? मग काय आपल्याला कायदा माहिती नाहीये तर आपण घरात चुप बसायचं का? तर नाही, डेफिनेटली नाही. गो टू द वेबसाईट, कोप वेबसाईट. देर आर सर्टन फ्लो चार्ट्स व्हॉट यू शुड डू. त्याच्यामध्ये त्यांनी सगळे फ्लो चार्ट्स बनवलेले आहे की हे करायचं, असं करायचं, हे केल्यानंतर हे होईल, असं नाही झालं तर असं. म्हणजे प्रत्येक गोष्टीसाठी त्यांनी फ्लो चार्ट दिलेले आहे. सो यू शुड सो अवेअरनेस अबाउट दिस इज व्हेरी व्हेरी इम्पॉर्टंट. सो कोपच्या वेबसाईटला प्रत्येक रिसर्चरनी एकदा तरी व्हिजिट द्यायला पाहिजे असं मला वाटते. आय विल नॉट टॉक मच अबाउट इट, बट दिस इज व्हेरी व्हेरी इम्पॉर्टंट knowing that, and these are the standard setting publication ethics worldwide. Now माझ्याकडे किती वेळ आहे अमित सर? आता अमित सर?
Yes, sir. 5 minutes.
5 minutes only. Okay, I need 10 minutes maybe.
Hello.
10-15 minutes.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
If it is going
Okay,
well
sir,
and
okay.
if the participants are interested, otherwise I can stop at any moment.
No, okay, sir. Take 10 minutes.
Okay. Now, what comes under the publication misconduct? Plagiarism. सगळ्यांना माहिती आहे बाबतीत. कॉपी पेस्ट. कोणी आपण काय शिकलो काय नाही, पण 2 गोष्टी नक्कीच शिकलो. ते म्हणजे काय? तर कंट्रोल C, कंट्रोल V. फॅब्रिकेशन अँड फॅल्सिफिकेशन ऑफ डेटा. जो आपल्याकडे डेटा आहे तो डेटा आणि रिझल्ट जे आहे ते थोडेसे फाल्सली क्रिएट करायचे आणि त्याच्यावरून मिसलिडिंग कन्क्लुजन पण काढायचे. दुसरं डुप्लिकेट पब्लिकेशन. सेम रिसर्च फाइंडिंगला मल्टिपल जर्नल मध्ये पब्लिश करायचं. ऑथरशिप डिस्प्यूट याबद्दल बोललो मी आधी. कन्फ्लिक्ट ऑफ इंटरेस्ट. ऑथर्स आणि एडिटर्स एकमेकाला ओळखतात. अरे दे ना तुझा पेपर, मी पाठवून देतो, पटकन करून टाकतो. काही त्यांचे आपसात कधी कधी सेम कोलॅबरेटर असतात, त्यालाच रिव्ह्यूअर म्हणून नाव टाकतो. This should be avoided. Failure to disclose the conflict of interest or funding source. फंडिंग मिळालं असेल किंवा आपण ज्या काही एक्नॉलेजमेंट नावाचा जो पार्ट असतो पेपरमध्ये, त्यामध्ये आपण ज्यांनी आपल्याला मदत केली, ज्यांना आपण ऑथरशिप देऊ शकत नाही, पण ज्यांनी आपल्याला मदत केली त्यांना एक्नॉलेज करणं फार आवश्यक आहे. एक स्टोरी सांगतो आणि देन आय विल कम टू द कन्क्लुजन. हा जो गृहस्थ आहे, जस्ट अ मोमेंट, वू सुक हँग हा जो गृहस्थ आहे यांनी फेब्रुवारी 1999 मध्ये क्लोन डेअरी काऊ बनवली होती. त्याला साऊथ कोरियाने सायंटिस्ट ऑफ द इयर या सन्मानाने सन्मानित केलं आणि खूप जास्त सन्मान या माणसाला मिळाला. 2004 मध्ये त्यांनी असा दावा केला की एम्ब्रियोनिक सेल बनवले. एम्ब्रियोनिक म्हणजे जे रिप्रोडक्टिव्ह सेल्स असतात ते, आणि कशापासून? सोमॅटिक सेल पासून, म्हणजे नॉन रिप्रोडक्टिव्ह सेल पासून. म्हणजे फॉर एक्झाम्पल स्किन पासून त्यांनी स्किनचे सेल वापरून त्यांनी हे केले. आणि हा पेपर कुठे पब्लिश झाला होता? सायन्स नावाचा जो टॉपमोस्ट जर्नल आहे. सायन्स नेचर हे 2 टॉपमोस्ट जर्नल आहे. सायन्स मध्ये पेपर आला त्याचा 2004 मध्ये. 2005 मध्ये नेचरने एक आर्टिकल पब्लिश केलं, त्याचा स्क्रीनशॉट मी इथे ठेवलेला आहे. टाइमलाईन ऑन द कॉन्ट्रोवर्सी, इथे नेचरच्या वेबसाईटला तुम्हाला मिळेल या माणसाबद्दल. हा स्क्रीनशॉट मी इथे ठेवलाय. हा स्क्रीनशॉट पाहू शकता तुम्ही. त्या माणसाने त्याच्या एका PhD स्टुडंटने कबूल केलं की बा त्यांनी काय केलं होतं, ऍक्च्युली सोमॅटिक सेल न वापरता त्यांनी त्याचे जे ग्रॅज्युएट स्टुडंट होते त्यांच्याकडून एग्स घेतले आणि त्याच्यापासून त्यांनी ते क्लोनिंग केलं होतं. म्हणजे आपण जे पब्लिकेशन मिसकंडक्ट बद्दल मागच्या स्लाइडमध्ये बोललो, चुकीचा डेटा देणे, चुकीची माहिती, ह्युमन रिस्पेक्ट, ह्युमन सब्जेक्ट रिस्पेक्ट, या सगळ्या गोष्टीचं व्हायोलेशन त्यांनी केलं. डिसेंबर 2005 मध्ये याच्या नावाने नेचरनी एक हे पब्लिश केलं, आर्टिकल पब्लिश केलं. मे 2006 मध्ये ही वॉज चार्ज विथ एम्बेझलमेंट, बायोएथिक्स लॉ व्हायलेशन, बायोएथिक्सचं पण लॉ आहे त्याला व्हायलेट केलं. हे सगळे लॉ व्हायलेट केल्यामुळे त्याला मिळालेले सगळे पुरस्कार त्याला वापस घेण्यात आले. अँड ही वॉज बिहाइंड द बार्स फॉर मेनी इयर्स. म्हणजे सांगायचं तात्पर्य असं आहे, या एका ही स्टोरी याच्यासाठी घेतली मी की एकदम इमॅजिन की किती हायली सेलिब्रेटेड सायंटिस्ट आहे आणि तो हायली सेलिब्रेटेड सायंटिस्ट सुद्धा बिहाइंड द बार जाऊ शकतो. आपण पेपरमध्ये अनेकदा वाचलं असेल की काही युनिव्हर्सिटीच्या व्हाईस चान्सलरला स्टेप डाऊन व्हावं लागलं बिकॉज ऑफ द इश्यूज लाईक प्लॅजरिझम किंवा हे जे पब्लिकेशन एथिक्सचे जे इश्यू आहे याच्यामुळं त्यांना उतरावं लागलं आपल्या जागेवरून. तर असं आहे व्हायलेशन. मग आपल्याला समजून घ्यायला पाहिजे व्हायलेशन म्हणजे काय. तर व्हायलेशन म्हणजे काय, इंटेन्शनल और अनइंटेन्शनल. तुम्हाला माहिती होतं किंवा नव्हतं हे इम्पॉर्टंट नाहीये, पण जर का तुम्ही ते तोडलं तर यू विल बी पनिशेबल ऍज पर द लॉ ऑफ हेल्थ. ओके, मी आता हे कमी करतो. प्रोसेस ऑफ आयडेंटिफाईंग अँड रिपोर्टिंग जे हे कुठे कुठे रिपोर्ट करता येतात, एकतर पीयर रिव्ह्यूच्या वेळेस करता येतात किंवा एडिटोरियल ओव्हरसाईट किंवा पोस्ट पब्लिकेशन स्क्रुटिनी. तुम्ही जे चांगले जर्नल असतात ना त्यांच्यामध्ये एराटा पब्लिश होतो कधी कधी. म्हणजे एखाद्या वेळेस ऑथरला लक्षात आलं की मी चुकीचं काही केलं तर ते काय करतात, ते त्याला एकतर एराटा पब्लिश करतात किंवा त्या जर्नलला रिट्रॅक्ट पण करतात त्या पेपरला. ओके, मग
आवाज दिले काकू.
हा याच्यानंतर आता महत्वाचा जो मुद्दा आहे, जो सगळ्यांचा कळीचा मुद्दा आहे, तो आहे प्रिडिक्ट. आवाज येतोय कोणाचा?
कपडे पाठवा म्हणतोय तिकडे काकू.
हो हो, कपडे कोण काढते आता?
कपडे कपडे असेल तर पाठवा.
प्रफुल्ल आनंद मेश्राम सर, आवाज येतोय सर तुमचा, म्यूट करा प्लीज. ओके, थँक्यू. हे पहा काय झालंय, अनफॉर्च्युनेटली इंडिया हॅज बिकम हब फॉर द प्रेडिटरी जर्नल. प्रेडिटरी जर्नल म्हणजे काय, विच ऍक्टिव्हली आस्क रिसर्चर फॉर द मॅन्युस्क्रिप्ट. तुमच्या प्रत्येकाच्या मेल बॉक्समध्ये तुम्हाला मेल मिळते की पब्लिश इन द स्कोपस जर्नल, हे येते. त्यांच्याकडे काही पीयर रिव्ह्यू सिस्टीम नसते. दे हॅव नो ट्रू एडिटोरियल बोर्ड आणि दे पब्लिश व्हेरी ऑर्डिनरी और मेनी वर्थलेस पेपर अँड दे आस्किंग फॉर द ह्यूज पब्लिकेशन चार्जेस. असे जे जर्नल्स असतात ते प्रेडिटरी जर्नल्स असतात. आणि जर्नल्स कसे ओळखावे हा पण एक महत्वाचा मुद्दा आहे. याच्यामध्ये एक आहे, एकतर कोणी त्याला रिकॉग्नाइज करतं का, नंबर 1, डू यू ऑर युअर कलिग्स नो द जर्नल, कॅन यू इझिली आयडेंटिफाय अँड कॉन्टॅक्ट द पब्लिशर, जर्नलची पीयर रिव्ह्यू प्रोसेस क्लिअर आहे का, आर्टिकल कुठे कुठे इंडेक्स होतात, स्कोपस मध्ये इंडेक्स होत असतील तर तो स्कोपस इंडेक्स जर्नल होईल, कुठे सायन्स सायटेशन इंडेक्स, सोशल सायन्स सायटेशन इंडेक्स, कुठे इंडेक्स होतात जर्नल, फीस जे चार्ज करणार आहे त्याबद्दल क्लॅरिटी आहे का, एडिटोरियल बोर्डला मान्यता आहे का, ते काही म्हणजे त्यातले लोक चांगले आहेत का नाहीये, आणि इज अ पब्लिशर मेंबर ऑफ कोपचा आहे का, किंवा डिरेक्टरी ऑफ ओपन ऍक्सेस जर्नलचा तो मेंबर आहे का, हे आपण पाहायला पाहिजे. ओके, मी याला स्किप करतोय. थोडंसं अजून एक कळीचा मुद्दा आहे. 2009 मध्ये एपीआय आलं. ऍक्च्युअली रिसर्च इन इंडिया हॅज इन्क्रीज इन 2010 ऑनवर्ड्स. 2009 मध्ये युजीसीनी परफॉर्मन्स अप्रेझल बेस्ड सिस्टीम PBS, त्याच्यामध्ये अॅन्युअल परफॉर्मन्स बेस्ड इंडिकेटर एपीआय सिस्टीम आली. त्याच्यानंतर काय झालं, खूप सारे कॉन्फरन्सेस, एका वर्षात 50 कॉन्फरन्सेस अटेंड करायला लागले लोक. कॉन्फरन्सचे मार्क जास्त झाल्यामुळे अमेंडमेंट करावे लागले, कॉन्फरन्सचे मार्काला सिलिंग आणावं लागलं. 4 अमेंडमेंट्स केले, अमेंडमेंट 1, अमेंडमेंट 2, अमेंडमेंट 3, अमेंडमेंट 4, तरी पण क्वालिटी काही इम्प्रूव्ह झाली नाही. चौथा, त्याच्यानंतर युजीसी अप्रूव्ड लिस्ट काढली. युजीसी अप्रूव्ड लिस्ट कोण बनवेल, विद्यापीठ. विद्यापीठ म्हणजे कोण, BOS मध्ये कोण, आपण, म्हणजे आपणच लिस्ट बनवली, आपणच त्याला अप्रूव्ह केली, ती युजीसीला पाठवली. जे चांगले जर्नल होते ते युजीसी अप्रूव्ड लिस्टच्या बाहेर, जे बोगस जर्नल होते ते लिस्टच्या अंदर. हे सगळे प्रकार झाल्यानंतर आता गव्हर्नमेंटने कंटाळून युजीसी केअर अस्तित्वात आणलं. 14 जून 2019 पासून युजीसी केअर अस्तित्वात आलं. याला कारण आहे की आपण तयार केलेलं नॉलेज हे पब्लिशरला पैसे देऊन छापणे आणि अनफॉर्च्युनेटली भारत हे हब झालेलं आहे प्रिडेटरी जर्नलचं. गल्ली मोहल्ल्यातून जर्नल निघतात आणि नाव असते इंटरनॅशनल जर्नल. असं नाही का गव्हर्नमेंट काहीच करत नाहीये, आपण उगीच खाली बसून हे करतो. हे पहा, आता सांगितलं 18 मध्ये एक नोटिफिकेशन काढलं, युजीसी केअरचं नोटिफिकेशन युजीसीने काढलं. अकॅडमिक इंटिग्रिटी मध्ये काय असायला पाहिजे काय नाही याच्याबद्दल हा एक नोटिफिकेशन 16 सप्टेंबर 2019 ला काढलं. त्याच्यानंतर सेल्फ प्लॅगॅरिझम बद्दल एक नोटिफिकेशन 20 एप्रिल 2020 ला काढलं. एवढंच नव्हे तर 2 क्रेडिटचा रिसर्च आणि पब्लिकेशन एथिक्सचा कोर्स कंपल्सरी केला प्री पीएचडी कोर्सला. आपला जो प्री पीएचडी कोर्स आहे ना, कोर्स वर्क ज्याला म्हणतो, त्यामध्ये 2 क्रेडिटचा कोर्स आला. आणि या युजीसी केअरच्या वेबसाईटला खूप सारे एफएक्यूज दिलेले आहेत जिथे तुमच्या सगळ्या प्रश्नांची उत्तरं मिळतील. आय रिक्वेस्ट ऑल ऑफ यू टू व्हिजिट टू द युजीसी केअर वेबसाईट अँड स्पेशली रीड ऑल द एफएक्यूज गिवन देअर. So this is again an effort from the government that they are coming up with various notices and circulars time to time, and at the same time they have come up with the wonderful platform like UGC Care where you can get your questions like care. हे केअरची वेबसाईट आहे, सगळ्यांना माहिती असेल. इथे लॉग इन केल्यानंतर इथे हे FAQ चा स्क्रीनशॉट आहे. वेअर वन कॅन फाइंड द UGC केअर जर्नल. हा कॉमन प्रश्न आहे बऱ्याच लोकांचा, कारण कोणतरी म्हणतो अरे UGC केअर छापून टाकतो आपण, पण नंतर लक्षात येते की युजीसी केअर नव्हता. युजीसी केअर आहे का त्याच्यानंतर हे मी स्किप करतोय. ओके, आता मी इथे थांबतोय आणि एक शेवटची एक स्लाइड दाखवतो आणि मग थांबतो. मी थोडंसं बेसिक रिसर्च आणि याच्याबद्दल बोललो होतो. एकदम असं छोट्या छोट्या गोष्टी असतात की स्मॉल कॉन्ट्रीब्युशन कॅन मेक अफेक्ट द लाईव्ह ऑफ द पीपल. नॉर्मली लोकांना जे दिसतं ना ते फक्त इतकं असतं 1/10, ज्याला आपण सक्सेस म्हणतो, पण खरी जी मेहनत असते ती पाण्याखाली असते अँड इट इज मोर देन 90%. याची एक स्टोरी सांगतो आणि मग थांबतो मी. 1970 मध्ये स्टॅनले विटिंगहॅम नावाचा एक सायंटिस्ट होता, विटिंगहॅम. या सायंटिस्टनी लिथियम आयनला कोबाल्ट ऑक्साइड मध्ये अकोमोडेट करायचा एक बेसिक प्रयत्न केला. आणि हा जो पेपर आहे त्यांनी, आणि याच्या आधीची स्टोरी अशी आहे की त्यावेळेस खाडी युद्ध सुरू होतं आणि पीपल वेअर लुकिंग फॉर अल्टरनेटिव्ह लाईक फॉसिल फ्युएल म्हणजे पेट्रोल डिझेल याच्या व्यतिरिक्त जे फ्युएल आहे त्याच्यावर लोकांना अल्टरनेटिव्ह शोधत होते. आणि कारण क्रूडचे भाव जे आहे ते एकदम खूप अनएक्सपेक्टेडली हाय झाले होते. मग याला सोल्युशन म्हणून सायंटिस्टनी फॉसिल फ्युएल फ्री एनर्जी प्रोग्राम्सला फंडिंग दिली गव्हर्नमेंटनी. लोक काम करायला सुरुवात झाली. 1970 मध्ये हा एक बेसिक रिसर्च केला आणि हा जो पेपर आहे एकदम ऑर्डिनरी जर्नलमध्ये पब्लिश झाला होता, फार मोठ्या जर्नलमध्ये पण नाही. 1970s मध्ये. त्याच्यानंतर काय झालं, जॉन गुडइनफ नावाचा सायंटिस्ट आहे जो आता 100 वर्षाचा आहे. आता मागच्या याच्यामध्ये रिसेंटली हे 100 वर्षाचा झालाय तो. तर कोबाल्ट ऑक्साइड विथ लिथियम आयननी 4 व्होल्टची इलेक्ट्रिसिटी जनरेट होऊ शकते हे त्यांनी प्रूव्ह केलं. हा बेसिक फाइंडिंग आहे. लिथियम आयनला कोबाल्ट ऑक्साइड मध्ये टाकल्यानंतर 4 व्होल्टची इलेक्ट्रिसिटी जनरेट होऊ शकते, 4 व्होल्टची एनर्जी जनरेट होऊ शकते, हे प्रूव्ह केलं. अकिरो योशिनो यांनी याला म्हणजे बेसिक रिसर्च, अप्लाइड रिसर्च, ऍप्लिकेशन डेव्हलपमेंट हा जो पाथ आहे यांनी वायबल लिथियम आयन बॅटरी बनवली. 1991 मध्ये लिथियम आयन बॅटरी मार्केटमध्ये आली आणि आता लिथियम आयन बॅटरी तुमच्या माझ्या सगळ्यांच्या पॉवर रिक्वायरमेंट पूर्ण करते. तुमच्या स्मार्ट वॉचला, तुमच्या मोबाईलला लिथियम आयन बॅटरी आहे. लिथियम आयन बॅटरीवर कार चालतील, ऑटोमोबाईल चालतील, 2 व्हीलर्स चालतील, चालत आहे. तर हे सगळं अल्टिमेटली क्वालिटी ऑफ लाईफ कसं इम्प्रूव्ह होते, इट मे टेक, आणि ही जर्नी आहे म्हणून मी व्हॉयस शब्द वापरला होता सुरुवातीला. 1970 मध्ये झालेल्या बेसिक रिसर्चला 2020, 22, 23 मध्ये 2019 मध्ये तिघांना नोबेल प्राइज मिळालं होतं. Isn't it? So you never know what is your small tiny contribution can make a huge difference in the life. May not be today, but maybe after 10, 15, 20, 45 years, 40, 50 years from now, it can affect the lives of the people. So this is what my humble submission is. So I'll take your leave. Thank you. Thank you for making me a part of this event. And over to you, sir, for any comments.
Thank you, sir. This session is going to be very informative. Now the session is open for discussion. Any query or any doubt from participant? Yes, any? Any query? Okay. Thank you, Professor Chandak sir, for enlightening us or for research ethics. Now I request Principal Dr. Ashish Sasankar sir, Chairman of the technical session first, for his valuable remark.
Thank you so
Sasankar
much.
sir, please.
Yes, sir. My voice is audible to you?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Thanks a lot. Thank you, sir, for enlightening on this particular research ethics topic. Sir, as I'm very much privileged that I'm working as a chairman for this particular session, and it's an honor that we got an eminent personality, that Hemant Kumar Chandak sir. Sir, as per your session, sir, as per your presentation, sir, definitely you have given a very precise idea to the basic researcher also, and those who are interested to go for the research, definitely that will get benefit for this work. And nowadays, what happened that research is used for the sake of the degree or PhD, and that is happen everywhere, sir, all over India. And because of that, the quality of this research is degraded. But when we are talking about the ethics of research, sir, as you covered over here, just I'll summarize this one. You have started the content related with the given about the status of research in India, then research motivation and workflow. Then you are given that publication ethics, which is contained the principle and importance. Then you are given how to go for the scope and WAME, okay, how to check our ethics over there. Then there are some publication misconducts, sir. You have given a nice idea about this one. Then one topic you had talked about the motivations. Yes, sir, this is very much important, but most of the people use the motivation that to do only PhD, but not the research in terms of joy. Then you have explained that research life cycle. Then you have given that publication misconduct, and you had given a very nice stories related with that particular topic. I hope that this topic can be understood by everyone. What happened that when we are talking about this research and ethics, so first thing is that our teachers, those who are working in a colleges and in a universities, what happened that they this is my personal point of view, they don't understand that how to go for the research. They are thinking about that research is just as an invention. But I want to clear over here with the permission of Hemant Kumar Chandak sir also, invention is different and research is different. Research is one of the contributions, sir. That is my personal opinion. But when we want to do the invention, there are lots of inventions are going on, but they are lacking about the documentation. I hope that, sir, such type of documentation, if that will be helpful for these people, those who are attending this particular state level conference. So definitely, if you can share that data, so that will be helpful for us also, and even for all the delegates. With these few words, I'll just conclude myself. I'll conclude this session. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for your valuable words. Now I request Dr. Deepak Dharne, sir, to propose a vote of thanks. Please, sir. On behalf of the Narayan Rao Kade Smruti Model College,
On behalf of the Narayan Rao Kade Model College and organizing committee for the state level webinar, I, Deepak Dharne, here to propose a vote of thanks. Ethics and critical thinking is a part and parcel of every research, and these two-dimensional aspects go hand in hand as a tandem like a paddles of bicycle. In this regard, Dr. Hemant Kumar Chandak sir very vividly highlighted prerequisite fundamental groundings with which we can take our research to the more advanced and the sophisticated level. I and my all the participants are extremely convinced that the way he has expressed and shared his glimpses of the knowledge, I feel that this is a very insightful, and his knowledge we have completely integrated and assimilated all the aspects of his talking. So that's why his talk will definitely and immensely helps us to boost our morale of the research, because the way he has talked, it's a very quite mesmerizing and quite engaging, and I hope that his talk will definitely will give us that kinds of the immense knowledge, and we hope that through his talk all the participants will integrate all the nuggets of the wisdoms and will take their research journey to the more sophisticated and the advanced level. And one thing he has talked very emphatically, that the research journey should be enjoyed and celebrated. I hope that this catchy word, which is loaded with the quite great wisdoms, so that the most of the participants, teaching fraternity, research scholars, and other participants will imbibe these words, and they will carry forward their research with this spirit and letter. And I wholeheartedly express my greatest thanks to the Dr. Chandak sir for his insightful talking. Again, on behalf of my college and the organizing committee, this is my sincere thanks to the Dr. Chandak sir. The chairpersons of this first technical sessions, Dr. Astik Shashankar sir, the principals of the college, stressed with his insightful remarks that until and unless researchers is full of ethics, integrity, and probity, his or her research would not reach at its destined level. Dr. Shashankar sir, I assure that all the participants will follow all the guidelines illuminated by you and the resource person. Lord but not least, Dr. Dhanavade sir, who has been our patron, the guiding lamp, the principals of our college, I warmly thanks to him along with attendees, teaching fraternities, research scholars, and the students, and last but not least, I am also very thankful to all the stakeholders who has participated actively in this webinar with their letter and spirit, and thanks again. In this way, I conclude that with all the organizing committee, I conclude that this session has been concluded with a very brilliant and very insightful note. Thank you, all of you, once again.
Okay. Thank you, sir. So I want to leave. I have important meeting.
Thank you, sir. Okay, sir. Okay, thank you, sir. Now I request to Dr. Ganesh Mohod, sir, to conduct the second technical session. Please, sir. Mohod, sir.
ठीक आहे सर, धन्यवाद सर. ऐकायला येतं सर माझं?
Okay, sir. Yes, sir.
नुकतंच
सर ऐकायला.
मी सर्वांना नमस्कार. मी डॉक्टर गणेश मोहोड. नुकतंच अतिशय सुंदर आणि अभ्यासपूर्ण असं प्रथम सत्र झालेलं आहे. टेक्निकल सेशन 1 झालेलं आहे आणि आपण आपल्या सर्वांच्या अनुमतीनं हे दुसरं टेक्निकल सेशन आपण या ठिकाणी सुरू करतो आहे. या सेशनचा विषय आहे पेटेंट फायलिंग प्रोसेस, आणि या सेशनच्या अध्यक्षस्थानी आहेत प्राचार्य आर्ट्स, कॉमर्स अँड सायन्स कॉलेज आरवी सर. आपलं स्वागत आहे. आणि या सत्राच्या रिसोर्स पर्सन आहेत माननीय डॉक्टर नीरज अरुणराव धनवटे, सहयोगी प्राध्यापक, डिपार्टमेंट ऑफ मायक्रोबायोलॉजी, संत गाडगेबाबा अमरावती विद्यापीठ अमरावती. मॅडम, आपलं स्वागत आहे. मॅडमचा मी थोडक्यात परिचय करून देतो आहे. यावरून सर ऐकायला येतं माझं?
हो सर.
येतोय सर आवाज? येतोय आवाज?
डॉक्टर नीरज धनवटे मॅडमचा मी या ठिकाणी परिचय करून देतो थोडक्यात. डॉक्टर नीरज धनवटे मॅडम या 1998 पासून ते 2008 पर्यंत डॉक्टर पंजाबराव देशमुख मेमोरियल मेडिकल कॉलेज अमरावती येथे डिपार्टमेंट ऑफ मायक्रोबायोलॉजीला डेमॉन्स्ट्रेटर या पदावर त्या कार्यरत होत्या. 2008 पासून ते आज पावेतो त्या संत गाडगेबाबा अमरावती विद्यापीठात मायक्रोबायोलॉजी डिपार्टमेंटला सहयोगी प्राध्यापक म्हणून सध्या त्या कार्यरत आहेत. त्यांनी विविध विषयावर अतिशय महत्वपूर्ण असे रिसर्च प्रोजेक्ट त्यांनी पूर्ण केलेले आहेत. विद्यापीठ अनुदान आयोग UGC दिल्ली, राजीव गांधी सायन्स अँड टेक्नॉलॉजी कमिशन मुंबई, डिपार्टमेंट ऑफ सायन्स अँड टेक्नॉलॉजी गव्हर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया या नामांकित संस्थांनी त्यांना या प्रोजेक्ट करिता त्यांना अनुदान दिलेलं आहे. त्याची मोठी यादी आहे, ती मी या ठिकाणी देत नाहीये. त्यांचे विविध नॅशनल इंटरनॅशनल जर्नल्समध्ये जवळपास 22 संशोधन पेपर, अतिशय महत्वपूर्ण पेपर त्यांचे प्रकाशित झालेले आहेत. तसेच इंटरनॅशनल नॅशनल कॉन्फरन्समध्ये त्यांनी विविध विषयांवरती विपुल प्रमाणामध्ये पोस्टर प्रेझेंटेशन केलेलं आहे. मॅडम, आपण विविध वर्कशॉपचेही यशस्वी आयोजन आपले केलेले आहे. महत्वपूर्ण गोष्ट अशी आणि आपल्यासाठी अभिमानास्पद गोष्ट अशी की त्यांच्या नावावर 2 पेटंटची उपलब्धी आहे. ज्या काळामध्ये 1921 या काळामध्ये आपला संपूर्ण मानवी जीवनाचा, संपूर्ण जगाचा जे निर्णायक काळ तो होता आणि अशा काळामध्ये ज्यावेळी आपण घराच्या बाहेर पडत नव्हतो, त्यावेळी अशा निर्णायक कोविडच्या काळामध्ये संत गाडगेबाबा अमरावती विद्यापीठाच्या मॉलिक्युलर डायग्नोस्टिक प्रयोगशाळेमध्ये टेक्निकल ऑफिसर म्हणून मॅडमनी अतिशय मोठी जबाबदारी स्वतः पेललेली आहे. जवळपास 5 लाख RT-PCR टेस्टचे नमुने त्यांनी यशस्वीपणे तपासलेले आहेत. त्याचबरोबर त्या 10 स्पीकर म्हणून देखील त्यांना बहुमान प्राप्त झालेला आहे. मॅडम, आपण संत गाडगेबाबा अमरावती विद्यापीठाच्या विविध महत्वपूर्ण समित्यांवरतीही सदस्य म्हणून कार्यरत आहात. मॅडमला विविध राष्ट्रीय आंतरराष्ट्रीय पुरस्कारांनीही सन्मानित केलेले आहेत. मॅडम, आपले पुनश्च एकदा स्वागत करतो. कोविडमध्ये आम्हासाठी जे काही आपण कार्य केलं त्याचाही मी या ठिकाणी बहुमान करतो आणि आपल्याला या ठिकाणी माननीय अध्यक्षांच्या परवानगीने या ठिकाणी बोलण्याकरता आमंत्रित करतो. स्वागत आहे मॅडम आपले.
धन्यवाद सर. आणि आय एम व्हेरी मच थँकफुल for the introduction which you have given about me. Sir, it would be my, language for presentation. Would it be fine with English or the participants would prefer mix Marathi and Hindi also?
Salil.
Okay, sir. As sir has already introduced me, I am Dr. Neeraj Dhanwate and I am associate professor in the Department of Microbiology in Sant Gadgibaba Amravati University. And at the outset, I would like to thank the NKS Model College Karanja for inviting me as a speaker in this technical session of the state level 1-day virtual workshop on research ethics and process of e-filing for patent. I am deeply honored and thankful to the authorities of the college, the principal of the college, Dr. Sanjay Dhanwate sir, the IQAC coordinator, Meshram sir, and all the others who have organized this event. So I would begin with my talk. Basically, I am not much expert in what we say all the rules and regulation for the filing of the patent. But as I have filed and I'm awarded with 2 patents, So I would like to just share my experience of how the patent is filed, or you can say how is the process of filing a patent. So I would basically talk only on that. But before we begin with the actual process of patent filing, let us go through certain introductory things. So I would like to share the screen. So I would like to request the host to just able my screen sharing, because I'm getting a message that host has disabled participant screen sharing. So whosoever is the host, please allow me to share my screen. So I'm unable to share my screen, sir. The screen share होत नहीं है. इथे message येतो आहे की host has disabled the participant screen sharing. So please allow me to share the screen.
मॅडम झालंय कोर्स तुम्ही.
So sir, is it visible?
हा मॅडम.
And okay, so I'll begin with my talk, that is basically on the patent filing process. Now, all of us know the meaning of this word property, right? So property, you know, we are much more, in the sense of something which we own. Okay, so we have a property, we have our house, so that is our property. It is an asset. So we have certain jewelry, we have certain land. So this is the property. So here also we are going to talk about the property, but that property is an intellectual property. So basically, as in this slide, you can see that property can be a tangible property and intangible property. Okay, so tangible property is the thing which you can touch. Okay, it has a physical form. For example, it can be a movable property like your car. So your car is a property which you can move, or it can be immovable like your house. So you know that the house or land cannot be moved. So it is like immovable tangible property. And intangible means something which does not has a physical form. Okay, you cannot touch it. Okay, so it is something which cannot be touched. So that comes on the intellectual property is intangible property. Okay, so here we are going to talk about that intangible property, which is the intellectual property, which comes by the virtue of your intellect, by the virtue of your thoughts, by the virtue of your mind. Okay, so that is the intellectual property. So it can be further classified as the industrial property, by which you can gain something by virtue of, so it is an asset, you can gain financially through it. So those can be patents, designs, trademarks, and geographical indications. And another is a copyright and the related properties. Next slide. So the actual, what we say, the meaning or the precise definition of this intellectual property, according to the World Intellectual Property Organization, that is WIPO, So it refers to the property which is actually the creation of the mind. So like it might be invention, it might be literary, that is something which you write, or it might be your artistic work and art which you have created. It might be certain symbols, names, images, designs. So all these things, according to the WIPO, comes under the intellectual properties. So as I told you previously, that it is intangible asset. Intangible asset that doesn't exist in a physical object, but it is an asset. That means it should have an economic value as well. So anything that comes from the human mind. So it can be anything you write, okay, literary creations, any artwork, scientific inventions, most important, certain technologies which can be created. So all these have the 4 key forms. So those can be the patents, the trademarks, copyrights, and the trade secrets. So all these come under the intellectual properties. So as it is the product of human imagination exclusively. So again, intangible asset, I told you, which doesn't exist in a physical nature. So it can be patent, it can be copyright, franchisees, customer data, softwares, certain trademarks, goodwill, and the brands. So all these are the intangible assets, which are the intellectual properties. And as the intellectual property is owned by someone, so you have to have certain rights to protect that intellectual property of yours. Okay, so those rights are the intellectual property rights. So these IPR, it refers to the legal ownership of the intellectual property. So by having these rights, you can own that property. So by a person or business of an invention, discovery related to the particular product or processes for the protection of the owner against unauthorized copying or imitation, so that no one makes an imitation of that or make a copy of that. So that is known as the infringement of the intellectual property. If anybody copies you, imitates you, or takes your idea, so that is known as the infringement. And to protect the owner from this infringement, we have this IPR. So of course, this IPR has a limit of time, scope, and geographical extent. So this right is given to you for a certain period of time. For the scope, which is there in the claims of your right, and the geographical extent, that means if you are filing something, filing a patent in India, so that it is protected in India only. So why this? What is the importance of this intellectual property rights? So actually these were recognized and accepted all over the world because of certain reasons. So one of the reasons is it can provide incentives to the individual for the new creation. So if somebody is creating something new, so certain incentives can be provided to that individual. And also it provides recognition to the creators as well as the inventors. Then certain materialistic rewards can also be ensured on the person who is having the intellectual property. And of course, the availability of the genuine and the original product can be ensured by giving the intellectual property rights. And all these are the governing laws of the IPR in India. So we have the Patent Act in 1970, the Trademark Act 1999, the Copyright Act of 1957, Design Act 2000, Geographical Indication of Goods, the Registration and the Protection Act 1999, and the Plant Variety and Farmers' Right Protection Act 2001. So all these are the acts for the different types of intellectual properties. So I won't go into the detail of all these acts because we will be stressing more on the process of filing of the patent. So as I told you, there are four key forms of the intellectual properties. So as seen in this slide, they can be categorized as patents, copyrights, trade secrets, and trademarks. So one by one, just in short, we will go through all these four key forms of intellectual property. So what is a patent? Now, patent is an intellectual property right which is granted by the government of a nation to an inventor that gives him or her the exclusive right to the invention for up to 20 years in exchange for disclosing the details of the new technology to society for its ultimate benefit. So this is the definition, you can say, of patent. So it is the right which is given to the inventor by the particular government. So that right is given for up to only 20 years. So after that, there are certain procedures by which you need to renew that. But in exchange of what? So in exchange of, you are supposed to disclose the technology in very details so that anyone else can use it for the benefit, for its benefit. So this is known as the patent. So usually inventions and technical solutions for any technical problem, okay, so can be patented. Any intellectual property rights that are granted by the government to the author, so of an original literary, dramatic, musical, artistic, or other eligible creative work is known as the copyright. So you might have heard about this word many times. We are saying copyrighted thing. It may be an article, a research paper, say a book, a novel, say a drama, a song, some lyrics. Okay, so all these are protected by copyright. So they may be the artistic creations, the proprietary rights, and actually there is not much technical difficulties in giving a copyright to any artistic creation. So it comes into existence as soon as the work is created. So the copyright, and if you want to use certain copyrighted work, someone else's work, then you have to cite their reference. Like in a research paper, for example, if you want to use certain methodology of a research paper, then you are supposed to cite the reference of that paper because that paper is copyrighted. Similarly, if you want to use a song from a movie, so you have to mention the details of the composer, of the lyricist, everything. So because everything is copyrighted over there, so you can't use anything which has been created by anyone without the copyright. So it is the exclusive right given by law for a certain term of years to an author, composer, to print, publish, and sell copies of the original work. So it is usually denoted by this symbol, C in a circle, and it protects the author. So if author is having a copyright, it will protect from unauthorized duplication. So there is no registration, as I told you, and automatically the copyright is granted. And if it is infringed, then the owner has the right to sue the person who has copied it. So the trademarks, the intellectual property right granted by the government to an individual or to a business or to a legal entity that creates and uses a distinctive word or name or symbol or logo to just distinguish its products or services from other entity in the marketplace. That means it is a trademark of that firm only. So it cannot be used by any other company. So a visual symbol such as word, name, logo, label, etc. So all these are the trademarks. So let us see the examples of trademarks. So you might have seen this, very much acquainted with the Apple trademark, the Google, the KFC, the Burger King. So this, they have their own trademarks, and you cannot use this for something which you have created, because it has been given, the right has been given to that particular company. So it might be a word, device, label, logo, name, signature, letters, numericals, shape of goods, combination of colors, so everything. So you can't use this logo of Apple for anything which you create, okay, because that would be an infringement. So this comes into the trademark. And the trade secrets, usually it is the law that requires that the intellectual property to be protected and not publicly disclosed. So you might, so these are the trade secrets. So for example, the Coca-Cola, nobody knows how this Coca-Cola is prepared. You don't know the ingredients. You don't know in what proportion, what is added so that you can make Coca-Cola at home. No. So it is their trade secret. It is their secret formula. So they are not going to disclose it. So there are many such trade secrets which are not disclosed publicly. Then what can be patented? So let us switch on to the patents, because we are going for a patent filing process. So what you can patent? So anything under the sun that is made by man. So anything that is made by man is patentable, but it has to qualify certain tests or certain criteria. Now, the very first and the important criteria is that whatever invention you want to patent, it must fall into one of the 5 statutory classes. So it must be a process, or it can be a machine, manufacturer's composition of something or of matter, and new uses of any of the above. So it can be a process that can be patented, but the process must be new and it must be innovative. Like the existing process, the new process should be more useful than already existing one. Okay. So similarly, the machines or manufacturing compositions of certain things. So this is one criteria which the invention has to pass. The second criteria which the invention has to pass is that it should be useful. The invention must be useful. Then third is the invention must be novel. So the novelty of the invention is very important. Nothing like that is present before. That means your invention is a novel one. That is, the inventive step is very important. And the invention must be non-obvious. So it must be non-obvious to a person of ordinary skill in the field. In whichever field you are inventing something, so it should not be known to any person belonging to that field. It should be completely new. So if an invention meets all these criteria, then you can say that it can be patented. So in order to search your invention, whether it meets all these criteria, there are a number of ways, there are a number of methods. And after you have confirmed that your invention passes all these criteria, then of course you can proceed to patent. What can be patented? So it can be a product, machine, a process. So all these can be patented. And the 4 key forms I told you: patent, then trademark, design. So this can be obtained for a single product also. For example, in this picture, you can see the camera made of Canon. Okay, so it has a patent. If it is like automatic exposure control mechanism, which was invented for the first time in such invention. So that is the patent which is obtained for that camera. Then you can see the name Canon. So that the way the font size, whatever it is, So that is a trademark for Canon only. So trademark Canon can be protected by the trademark law. Now, usually you see patent, I told you it can be protected by for 20 years. So trademark laws protects the trademark for 10 years, though it can be extendable for next 10 years, but that has to be renewed after its expiry. And the design. So even the design of this camera is patent. I mean, it is copyrighted. Sorry, it can be, it has its rights. So design of the camera appearance, it can be protected by the design law. So the design law is valid for 10 years from the date of its registration, and it is extendable for another period of 5 years. So another example is of the Sony TV. So you can obtain a patent for the remote control mechanism. Then the name, the trademark, the TV instruction manuals can be copyrighted, and the design. Now, for the process, so actually this intellectual property rights, it is in the Department of Industrial Policy and Promotion under the Controller General of Patents, Design and Trademarks. So we have the offices for patent and designs at Kolkata, Delhi, Mumbai, and Chennai. The offices for the trademarks registry is at Mumbai, Kolkata, Delhi, Chennai, and Ahmedabad. The geographical indications registry can be made at Chennai, and the patent information system is in Nagpur. It is the RGNIIPM, that is Rajiv Gandhi National Institute of Intellectual Property Management. So these are the offices where all the key forms of the intellectual property can be registered. So the patent office at Mumbai, and here we can register the patents for the state of Gujarat, Maharashtra, Madhya Pradesh, Goa, and Chhattisgarh, and the Union Territories of Daman and Diu, and Dadra and Nagar Haveli. So all these patents from all these areas can be registered into patent office at Mumbai. And this is the address and the contact numbers along with the email ID. Then the patent office Chennai. So the states of Andhra Pradesh, Karnataka, Kerala, Tamil Nadu, and the Union Territories of Pondicherry and Lakshadweep, all the patent can be registered at this office. Then the Delhi office, the state of Haryana, Himachal Pradesh, Jammu and Kashmir, Punjab, Rajasthan, UP, Uttaranchal, Delhi, and the Union Territory of Chandigarh. So all these can be registered at the patent office Delhi. And the rest of the India, whatever remaining, so the can be patent registered at the patent office in Kolkata. So this is the training center, so which is there in Nagpur, Rajiv Gandhi National Institute of Intellectual Property Management. And prior to register, file the patent, I had attended the workshop on filing of a patent at this training institute. Now, who can file the patent application in India? So either individual patent can be filed, or patent can be filed jointly. So by persons claiming to be the true and the first inventors. So, usually the invention can be made by a group of people. So all these people can be the inventor of that patent, and they can be assigned as the inventors in that patent. So by any person being the assignee of person claiming to be true and the first inventors. So if there is somebody, a person who assigns or who claims to be the true and the first inventor, so that can also file the patent because they are, because the persons, they are related, and the person has given a legal right to that assignee, so for patenting on that particular invention. So by the legal representative or of any deceased person who can immediately after his death is entitled to make such application. So even in case the inventor dies, so a legal representative is allowed to file a patent. Then what are the different types of applications for patent filing? So you have the ordinary applications, convention applications, patent of addition applications, division applications, and the PCT applications or the patent cooperation treaty applications. So we will go through these types of applications. And the stages of patent applications are, first you need to file the patent, and then you need to publish it. Then there is examination of that patent. Then if any oppositions are there, then that has to be resolved. And finally, after examination, again, there will be the grant of that particular patent. So the application for any patent can be filed only on the payment of the full fees of that patent. So the filing fee is charged on the basis of number of pages and the number of claims made in the patent document. So you have to pay the full fees after which the patent can be filed, and the amount depends upon the number of pages and the number of claims which are included in that patent. So up to 30 pages, there is no extra fee or excess fee, but if the page number exceeds 30, then the excess fee has to be paid. Or up to 10 claims, no extra fee is charged, but if the claims are more than that, then the extra fee is also charged. So then if power of attorney is needed, then there again, it is one of the steps. Many times we appoint a patent attorney to to facilitate the filing of this process. So that has to be done in number of cases. So applications, specifications, and other documents should be in English or in Hindi. If application discloses sequences or listing of nucleotides or amino acids, then it should be filed in electronic form. So this is regarding the patents exclusively for say the science faculty, like where in case of the life sciences, whenever a particular new sequence of the nucleotides or amino acid has to be patented, then it is very difficult to type all those sequences, because millions of letters are present in those sequences. So that has to be filed in electronic format. So this is the fee structure which is needed for filing of the patent. So filing of the patent application along with the provisional or the complete specification. So I told you number of pages 30 maximum and claims 10. Now the official fees for individual patent, and the other column, the second column is it is for a company. So if a patent has to be filed individually, then it is 1,000. If it is a firm or a company, then it is 4,000. So I told you the additional paper, one paper, if 31 pages are there, then 100 rupees per sheet has to be paid for the filing of that patent. And for each additional claim, you have to pay 200 and 800 there. Then request for examination of that patent. The fee for the request of examination is 2,500 and 10,000. Then request for early publication, it is 2,500 and 10,000. And the renewal fee for every year, that is from the 2nd year to the 6th year, it is 5,000 and 2,000. 7th to 10th year, it is 1,500 and 6,000. 11th to 15th year, it is 3,000 and 12,000. And 16th to 20th year, it is 5,000 and 20,000. So till 2 years, there is no fee, but end of the second year, you have to pay the renewal fee for the patent which is awarded. Now the specifications which you have to prepare for filing of the patent. So two types of specifications you have to make. One is the provisional specification and another is the complete specification. Now the provisional specification can be filed as soon as certain inventive ideas come into mind. So you see here, you can patent your idea also. So say some innovative idea comes to the mind and you are yet to go for its what we say if we talk about the science, if you are yet to go with the experimentation and the results and whatever output you're getting, but you have an idea and you want to protect your idea, so that idea can also be protected through a provisional specification. So it should be filed as soon as you get that idea. And in complete specification, it is necessary to get a patent. Then the provisional specification should describe the nature of invention and contain the description of essential features of the invention. So whatever idea you have and whatever anticipated outcomes, so all those has to be added to the provisional specification of the patent. And in complete specification, a detailed description of the invention is required. Now in provisional specification, claims are not added because you don't know right now what will be the output of your invention. So claims are not needed over there. But in a complete specification, as you have every details of your invention, the claims must be added to protect the scope of an invention. So more the claims, more protection is given to that invention. So in case you want to file a provisional specification, so the contents of that provisional specification, the title, then the written description, if it has certain drawings, so that can be added. And if you have certain sample or model in your mind, so that can also be added to the content of the provisional specification. Now, what is the advantage of filing a provisional specification? So filing an idea. So you see, it is rather, you can say it is a priority for invention. And as soon as you get the idea, you can protect that idea by filing it. And you get some time for the further developments also. So if an idea comes to you and you don't want anyone, it is possible that the same idea can come into any other person's mind. So if you patent your idea, then it will be yours only, even after it comes into somebody else's mind. So you, and also after filing the provisional specification till the complete specification, you get ample of time for the developments. Okay. Now, once you have filed your idea, then you can disclose your idea to interested person, say to obtain any financial support. So if you have an idea, you can go to, say what we say, funding agencies, you can get a project for your idea. Okay, so you can disclose it because it is already protected. Then it can, you get time to explore the commercial feasibility of that. So what value it has commercially, so that can also be explored. So you get time for that also. And also it avoid further expenses if it is of no use, or commercially if it is of no use. So though you have patented of your idea, you work on that, but you don't get the results as expected. Okay, so you don't get, it is of no use, right? So it can provide the further expenses also in that case. Then the specification, it has the structure. So it should have a precise title. It should include the technical field. Now you see, when I am speaking right now, because maybe all of you feel that my orientation will be much towards the scientific type of patents, because I am much experienced in that. So I may tilt to that point much. So title, then the technical field of that invention, the background, usually the background of the invention, whatever prior work has been done regarding that invention has to be included in the background. Then what are the objectives? Then comes the summary. If drawings are there, then initially the description of the drawings is to be added. Then the detailed description of the invention has to be included. The detailed description means each and every minute aspect of the technical invention has to be included in the detailed description. Then you have to add the claims. So claims is one of the very important part of the specification, because depending upon claim, the scope of protection, it depends. Then the abstract, and lastly, the drawing. So this is rather a structure, the chronological order in which you are supposed to write the specification. So the patent specification should have a title, then the aims and objectives of the invention, technical field, the background art, or you can say the prior art. It is usually called as the prior art, means whosoever has worked on that type of invention, right? So that is known as the prior art. In the research language, you can say the review of literature which you do. That means whatever your topic is, so the people who has worked on that topic before. So here also, if a similar invention is there, so what type of inventions are there, what they have done, and what background they have, what are the disadvantages of those. So all these has to be included in the prior art. And then you have to disclose your own invention. What is your invention? Okay. Then if your invention has certain drawings or diagrams, that can be described. And then you can again describe the drawings in detail along with the examples. Then industrial applicability, certain closing statements. And lastly, the claims. So the claims can be many. So plurality in the claims is there. So many claims, major claims, and the sub-claims has to be added. So, and then the drawings and the abstract of the invention. So again, it is the same thing which I have described earlier. The title of invention, the background and the field, the use of invention, the prior art. You have to compare the prior art and your invention. So the aim of your present invention, the summary, the statement of invention, then the description along with respect to drawings, if any, working example for the best method of the invention, and claim for legal monopoly. So working examples of best method of invention, anyone who reads your specification or reads your patent should be able to perform, I mean, the similar work as it is. Okay, so that is one of the very important aspect of the specification. So every detail, each and every detail has to be included in the specification of that patent. And these are the list of documents. Actually, here you can see the form number 1, form number 2, 3, 5, 26, everything. So all these forms are available on the website that is of www.ipindia.gov.in. So all these forms are there, and these forms are to be filled online. So application is form number 1. Then the proof of right, that is form, the para 9 from the form number 1 has to be filled. Then whether it is a provisional application or a complete specification, it has to be, the details has to be added in form number 2. Then if it is the statement of foreign filing, so along with the Indian filing, if you want to opt for filing elsewhere in some other countries, then that there is form number 3. So declaration as to inventorship, so it is the form number 5. Early publication is form number 9. You can request for early publication because usually it is the time taken for publication of that patent is 18 months. But if you want your patent to be published earlier, then you have to fill form number 9 to request for early publication. Then for the request for examination of that application is form number 19. If you want to give the power of attorney to someone, then it is form number 26. The abstract of invention and drawings of invention and the documents of the fees which you have already paid. So initially you have to, is required for filing of the patent. So all the documents and the copies of documents, except for the affidavits and drawings sent to the patent office or otherwise furnished to the controller, shall be written or typewritten or printed in English language unless or otherwise directed or allowed by the controller. So in the legible character size, so they have given the particular character size with lines widely spaced upon one side only on the strong white paper. So you see the size of the paper should be A4 with the specific margins as given on the top, 4 centimeter, 3 centimeter in the bottom and the right hand. So all these has to be followed while you, prepare for the patent specifications. So I told you that once you have applied for the patent is usually published in the Indian Patent Journal, and it takes 18 months. So today, if you file the specification, so after 18 months, it gets published. Okay, so but if you want to publish it before 18 months, then you have to file the request for early publication. So that has to be filed before 18 months from the date of filing or the date of priority of the application, except they follow. Like application in which secrecy direction is imposed. So if you don't want to publish, then it's fine. It has been withdrawn before 3 months prior to the expiry of the 18 months. So in this case, it will not be published. So however, the applicant can make a request for early publication prior to 18 months on form number 9, and the prescribed fee, which I have already mentioned, is 2,500 for individual, and the legal entity it is 10,000. Then application is kept secret for a period of 18 months from the date of filing. So unless you requested early publication, the 19-month application is published in the official journal, and this journal is made available on the website of the Indian Patent Office every week. So applicants has an option to get this application published before 18 months also. So in that case, that early request has to be given. So this journal, I told you, journal, the official journal of the Patent Office. So it is published every week. The very first issue was out on 21st January 2005. And this journal cost around 400 rupees per copy. And it is available freely if you visit the particular patent offices. So you can get to read these journals in the patent offices. Then after publication comes the examination. So application is examined on request. So you have to request the examination of your patent which you have filed. So either the person or the applicant himself can apply for the request of examination, or anyone else, a third party can also request for the examination, because once it is published, it is made public, right? So anybody comes, goes through that patent and wants to examine it. So even the third party can apply for the request of examination. So there is a period of 48 months from the date of filing, which is available for making request for the examination. So every patent needs to be examined. So this application for examination is sent to an examiner within 1 month from the date of request for the examination. And the examiner actually undertakes the examination with respect to whether the claimed invention is not prohibited from grant of the patent, and secondly, whether the invention meets the criteria of patentability. So when the patent goes for examination, then these are the things which are examined by the examiner. So whether the claim invention, it is not prohibited, because certain inventions are not to be patented. So they are prohibited from granting a patent. Usually certain inventions which are injurious to the mankind, okay, which are deleterious, which so usually these inventions are prohibited from getting patented. And whether it meets the criteria of patentability, which we have seen in the very initial slides. So the four criteria, which every invention has to meet so that it can be patented. So the examiner usually checks for these things. Then after a period of 1 to 3 months, so when it goes to the examiner has a period of 1 to 3 months to submit the report to the controller. Okay, and in 1 month's time, the controller actually has the time to just go through the examiner's report. And after that, the inventor is actually given the first examination report, which may contains or which will contains objection, which are issued within 6 months from the date of the filing of request. Usually, when today, if you file the request for examination, so you have a maximum 6 months period. After that, you will get the FER, that is the first examination report. So it will go to the examiner, controller, and then if any objections are raised in that examination, then those objections are reported to the patentee, or you can say the person who has filed, or the attorney who is facilitating the process. So the first examination report along with the objections are given. And then the applicant is given 12 months time from the date of issue of the first examination report to meet the objections. Okay? So if there are any objections in the FER, then these objections are to be resolved by the applicant in within 12 months. And if the objections are met, grant of the patent can be approved by the controller within a period of 1 month. So once the objections are completely resolved, then in 1 month, the controller can approve and grant the patent. Now, pre-grant opposition may be there. So after publication, the patent details are published. So anyone can file an opposition within a period of 6 months. And the opponent who has filed the opposition to that published patent can also has the right to to express, like opportunity of hearing the opponent is also available. So why the opposition is raised, and if he want to defend, so even that opportunity is given to the opponent. So it is not like you're filing, you're publishing, and nobody is going to oppose. So if anybody wants, or even if you want to oppose or object something, then that can be done in this pre-grant opposition. So the examination of this pre-grant opposition, the documents are sent to the applicant, and then the applicant is given period of 3 months for the response, whatever objections were raised by the opponent. So those can be resolved within a period of 3 months by the applicant. And the consideration of the pre-grant opposition. So after examining the opposition and the submission made during the hearing, so the controller may either reject the opposition and grant the patent to the applicant, or can accept the opposition by the opponent, can tell the applicant to modify the patent or the specification, and can also reject the patent application. So the controller has the right or to analyze the pre-grant opposition. So either the opponent opposition can be rejected, or the applicant can be told by the controller that, okay, these are the oppositions. You just rectify the oppositions, rectify the lacunas, and again resubmit. And if not, then the patent application can also be rejected by the controller. But this is to be done within a period of 1 month from the date of completion of opposition proceedings. So you have a period of 1 month in that. And if it is approved, okay, then a certificate of patent is issued within 7 days of the approval of the patent. And then that grant of the patent is published in the official journal of the Indian Patent. So that was the patent grant procedure. So see the screening, classification, early publication, or if no early publication requested, then 18 months publication after 18 months. Then you have to file request for examination. So that period is within 48 months. If you have any pre-grant opposition, then that has to be resolved. Then after request for examination, the examination is there. Examiners are allotted. Examination in the respective group is done, whether it has to be granted or refused. So the publication of the grant of the patent, and then even the post-grant opposition is there. So even after the patent has been granted, so within 1 year, the opposition board can, generate, if they feel that there is something wrong with the patent, then the opposition can be raised. And of course, that has to be decided by the controller, what has to be done later. So the renewal fees told you to be paid within 3 to 6 months from the date of recording in the register. So I have already discussed with the time period for which any patent is given. So you have to pay the renewal fees at every stage. So I told you no fee for the first and second year, but then 3rd to 20th year, you have to keep paying with the renewal fees. And though the delay of few months is permissible, but the patent will lapse if the renewal fees is not paid within the prescribed period. So that has to be taken into consideration very keenly. So certain offenses and penalties are there if there's contra invention of provision relating to the certain inventions. So the falsification of entries, then unauthorized claim of patent rights, the wrongful use of words, patent office, failure to supply information to the central government or the controller, supply of false or untrue information in the patent specification, and the practice by non-registered patent agents. So there are certain offenses for which there are penalties like imprisonment and fine up to 500 to 1,000 rupees to 2,000 rupees will be there. Then once you are awarded with the patent, so the patentee has certain rights. Okay, so one is the right to exploit the patent. So the patentee has the right to prevent the third parties from exploiting the patent invention. Okay, so that patent cannot be used by anyone, cannot be exploited by anyone else. then the patentee has the right to grant license. So if the patentee gives license, the product is developed, the patentee can give license to somebody else to go for the production. So the patentee has a power to assign rights or grant license. Then right to surrender. The patentee has the right to surrender the patent by giving the notice in the prescribed manner to the controller. And right to sue for infringement. So if a person copies it or infringe the rights of the patent, then the patentee can go to a district court and file an infringement against that person. So it is again the similar. I'm just going to, yes, this is the almost the last slide. So just the summary of how the patent filing process is there. So I think I won't go into much details of this because I have already told you many times. So the different steps of the patent filing process. And these are the two patents which you see, this is the certificate, the final patent grant certificate, and the two patents which I am awarded with. So I belong to microbiology. So the first patent which was awarded to me was a kit for rapid detection of methicillin-resistant Staphylococcus aureus. So this is Staphylococcus aureus. It is a bacteria. Actually, it is the bacteria which leads to formation of pus. So any pus formation in the wounds. Okay, so this bacteria is a very dangerous bacteria, which is a methicillin resistant. It is resistant to antibiotics. That means many antibiotics will not cure the infection caused by this Staphylococcus aureus. So I have, and to diagnose that, you require 3 days. So I have developed a kit which leads to diagnosis in just 6 hours. So you see, there was that is the innovativeness of this patent, like a rapid kit. It is a rapid kit. The other methods require 48 hours, but this kit requires only 6 hours. Okay, so that is one of the innovation in this patent. Another, the technical details, there should be like why the results are rapid here, because it has certain what we say, certain agents, certain chemicals, or certain reactions which occur. So that is the inventive step of this invention patent. Okay, so that inventive step is also important. Another patent is a patent on a process. So a process can also be patented. So here a kit is patented. The second, a process is patented. So again, it is a rapid process for detection of minimum biofilm eradicating concentration of antibiotics against bacterial pathogens. So these are the two patents which were awarded. Now, one thing I want to share here is that I had, when I attended the training at RGNIIPM in Nagpur, so my paper was published in a very good journal of scientific reports, which was from the Nature Publishing Group. And the first patent, that is the kit, which I told you. So the paper was on that kit for the rapid detection of MRSA. And then during the training, I came to know that once published, once any invention is published, it cannot be patented. But I wanted to go for the patent of that kit. So I asked the speakers over there, the experts over there, that I have published this paper in a very good journal, but I want to go for patenting this kit. So the speaker or the expert, he just asked me that, when did you publish your paper? So it was, I published it in 2016, and in just after 3 months, I attended the training. So the expert said that, no problem, you have published it just 3 months prior. So you have a time period of 1 year after publication to file the patent. So you still have a few months and you can go for filing of that patent. And as soon as I returned from that training, the first thing I did was I made a specification and I filed a complete specification for that kit. So it was in 2017, I filed it, and in 2021, I was awarded with the patent for that kit. Similarly, so it takes around 4 to 4.5 years for from the time of filing of the patent and till the patent has been awarded, if everything goes smoothly. Though if it may take a longer duration also, but these are the patents which I was awarded with, and I have filed one more patent which is in the pipeline. So I think that is all, and I don't know whether I could reach you in details. So I'm actually thankful to all the organizing committee who has invited me for giving this talk on the patent filing process. And I think that's it. I would like to conclude here. So if anything you need to ask, though I don't know whether I will be able to answer all your questions, because I am just one of the awardees. I mean, I'm awarded with the patents, though I don't go into much details. Even I have facilitated all these processes through a patent attorney. But though you have a patent attorney to all facilitate all these processes, but your invention is known to you. So the specification which you have to make, you have to write it yourself. You have to draft it yourself. The inventive step and all the novelties, you know. So the claims also you have to write it yourself. So though facilitation processes are there, but still you have to work a lot for all these things. So I thank you for the patience listening. Thank you, sir. And now I switch over to the chairman. Hope so. Thank you so much.
थँक यू मॅडम. काही जर शंका असतील काही क्युरी असतील तर आपण विचारू शकता.
मॅडम गुड आफ्टरनून.
येस, गुड आफ्टरनून.
मॅडम मी प्रोफेसर विनोद रामटेके, जनता कॉलेज चंद्रपूर.
येस सर.
मॅडम पेटंट टाकायचं असेल तर आपल्याला एखादा मॉडेल द्यायला लागेल का पहिले?
नाही सर, मॉडेल नाही द्यावं लागत आपल्याला. ते म्हणजे असं काही फक्त डॉक्युमेंट्स वरच तुम्हाला मिळतं. तुम्हाला समजा माझी जरी किट होती तर मी तिथे किट वगैरे नाही दिली त्यांना किंवा मॉडेल नाही दिलं त्यांना. डॉक्युमेंटेशनच असतं त्याच्यामध्ये.
अच्छा, फक्त डॉक्युमेंटेशन करायचं.
हो, एव्हरीथिंग.
डॉक्युमेंटेशन केल्यानंतर आपल्याला काय कशावर पेटंट करायचं आहे
हो
ते तिथं मेन्शन करायला लागेल की नंतर मेन्शन करायचं आहे?
नाही, तेव्हाच जेव्हा तुम्ही पेटंट स्पेसिफिकेशन लिहिता तेव्हा सगळे डिटेल्स तुम्हाला मेन्शन करावे लागतात. एव्हरी डिटेल्स. तुमचा मॉडेल असेल तर त्या मॉडेलचं तुम्ही डायग्राम वगैरे त्याच्यामध्ये देऊ शकता, त्याचं डिटेल डिस्क्रिप्शन देऊ शकता. पण जेव्हा तुम्ही फाईल करता तेव्हा तुम्हाला सगळे डिटेल्स त्यांना द्यावे लागतात तुमच्या पेटंट इन्व्हेन्शनचे किंवा मॉडेलचे.
ओके मॅडम. म्हणजे डिझायनिंग आपण दिलं तर डिझायनिंग केल्यानंतर आपल्याला अप्लिकेशन करता येतो. डिझायनिंग केल्या म्हणजे डिझायनिंग दिलं आपण दिलं मॉडेलचं डिझायनिंग पेटंट कशा रीतीने राहणार आहे तर ते आफ्टर अप्लिकेशन की रजिस्ट्रेशन झाल्यानंतर?
नाही, तेव्हाच करावं लागतं. तुम्हाला स्पेसिफिकेशन तुम्ही प्रोव्हिजनल देता आहे की कम्प्लीट स्पेसिफिकेशन देताय? कम्प्लीट स्पेसिफिकेशन असेल तर तुम्हाला त्याचे सगळे डिटेल्स द्यावे लागतात.
ओके मॅडम.
तुमच्या इन्व्हेन्शनचे सगळे डिटेल्स तेव्हाच द्यावे लागतात. डिटेल डिस्क्रिप्शन ऑफ एव्हरीथिंग, म्हणजे ड्रॉइंग्स असेल किंवा तुमची टेक्नॉलॉजी असेल किंवा मॉडेल असेल, ते कसं चालतं कसं नाही हे सगळं तेव्हाच द्यावं लागतं.
ओके मॅडम, थँक्यू व्हेरी मच मॅडम.
Thank you, sir.
तुम्हाला काही शंका असतील तर विचारू शकता.
मॅडम अप्लिकेशन बाय पोस्ट करायचं असते की आपल्याला तिथे जाऊन तिथे सेंटरवर जाऊन आपल्याला करायचं असते?
सर ते ऑनलाईन पण हे करता येतात, पण तुम्हाला त्याच्यावर सह्या आणि हे तर तुम्हाला बाय पोस्ट पण पाठवावं लागतं.
ओके ओके.
तर त्याच्यासाठी इट इज बेटर यू ऑप्ट फॉर पेटंट अटर्नी, पण तुम्हाला पेटंट अटर्नीची फी वेगळी भरावी लागते. मग म्हणजे पेटंट फायलिंगचा खर्च थोडा कमी असतो, पण अटर्नीची फी जास्ती असते त्या केसमध्ये. पण मग इन दॅट केस तुम्हाला स्वतःला काही करावं नाही लागत, ते सगळं करतात, पण फक्त तुम्हाला स्पेसिफिकेशन तेवढं लिहून द्यावं लागतं.
ओके मॅडम.
सो पेटंट अटर्नीज आर अवेलेबल, सो इवन दे कॅन डू ऑल दीज थिंग्स फॉर यू.
ओके मॅडम.
इट इज मोर कन्व्हिनियंट. म्हणजे खूप फी पण नाही घेत ते. इट्स रिझनेबल, बट दॅट इज मोर कन्व्हिनियंट इफ यू रिअली वॉन्ट टू डू इट.
ओके मॅडम. थँक्यू.
Yes.
Hello, ma'am. Good morning.
Yes.
Myself, Dr. Ulka Malode.
Yes, Ulka.
Yes, madam. My question is that for a copyright of any content.
चर्चा चालू आहे ना.
Yes.
Am I audible?
Yes, yes. I can hear you.
In case of copyright of certain documents, which is related with the literature, there is also hiring dates given on the website as per our diary number. I have applied 3 years ago, but still I have not get the hard copy of that copyright. I have not applied for patent, but only for copyright.
It was
I have
regarding
got the diary number, but hard copy many times I mail them. I have not found any hard copy. It is also not to my soft copy, but I have a list of whatever they have. I mean, file that copyright. In the common list, my name is there, but individually, I didn't get any type of letter or communication from that side.
It was regarding what? I mean, what you copyrighted?
I have copyright content of my on vitamin, and that diary number I have received, and that my name is also mentioned in the list of accepted content for copyright.
Okay.
But I have not received any individual letter. I think it is more better if I get a personal by mentioning the name. List is there on the website.
So you can claim it. I think you can claim it by that list also.
Okay.
But I don't. For copyright, you get a separate certificate, like you get for the like patent award certificate. I'm not much sure about that.
Okay, and is it necessary while hearing of that particular, just you have discussed that the opponent will be there, if so we have to be present physically?
Opponent will not be there. He will just raise the opposition. So there is a procedure by which he will raise the opposition. Then that opposition will go to the examiner and the controller, and then they will communicate that opposition to us, which we will have to rectify.
Okay. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am.
Yes.
Thank you, madam. Thank you, Hanote madam. यानंतर या सत्राचे सन्माननीय अध्यक्ष माननीय डॉक्टर हरिभाऊ वेरुळकर सरांना मी अशी विनंती करतो की त्यांनी आपल्या अध्यक्ष भाषण या ठिकाणी सुरू करावे. डॉक्टर वेरुळकर सर, आपले स्वागत.
आवाज येतोय सगळ्यांना?
येस येस.
माझा आवाज येतोय?
येतोय सर, येतोय सर, येतोय.
या आजच्या स्टेट लेवल वन डे व्हर्च्युअल वर्कशॉपचे अध्यक्ष डॉक्टर धनवटे, प्राचार्य नारायणराव काळे स्मृती मॉडेल कॉलेज कारंजा घाटगे. आजच्या या स्टेट लेवल वन डे व्हर्च्युअल वर्कशॉपचे उद्घाटक माननीय संदीप भाऊ काळे, प्रमुख पाहुणे डॉक्टर टाले, IQAC समन्वयक डॉक्टर मेश्राम, टेक्निकल वनचे स्पीकर डॉक्टर चांडक, टेक्निकल वनचे चेअरपर्सन डॉक्टर ससानकर, टेक्निकल 2 च्या स्पीकर डॉक्टर धनवटे, या टेक्निकल 2 चा विषय जो होता तो पेटंट फायलिंग प्रोसेस. खरं म्हणजे पेटंट फायलिंग प्रोसेसच्या संदर्भात की त्या फायलिंग बद्दल जास्त टेक्निकल बोलणं मला तरी उचित वाटत नाही. परंतु बऱ्याच पार्टिसिपेंट्सचे जे काही क्वेश्चन्स होते किंवा काही क्वेरीज होत्या आणि त्यांचं मी अत्यंत काळजीपूर्वक पेटंट फायलिंग प्रोसेस बद्दल त्यांचं वक्तव्य ऐकत होतो. तर यातनं काही गोष्टी पुन्हा आपण थोड्याशा रिवाईज अशासाठी केल्या पाहिजे की याचा थोडासा इतिहास, थोडासा पेटंट फायलिंग बद्दलच्या अजून काही बाबी ज्या आहेत त्या अजूनही बऱ्याच लोकांना क्लिअर नाहीत. काही क्वेश्चन्स जे होते ते क्वेश्चन्स अगदी प्रिलिमिनरी स्वरूपाचे होते. तर थोडस इतिहासात जायचं आपल्याला काम पडलं तर असं दिसतं की संपूर्ण जगावर ब्रिटिशांचं राज्य होतं. जवळपास असं म्हणतात की ब्रिटिशांचा सूर्य हा संपूर्ण जगावर तळपत होता आणि तो अस्त पावत नव्हता. आणि संपूर्ण जगावर ब्रिटिशांचं राज्य असल्यामुळे वेगवेगळ्या ठिकाणावरून संपूर्ण जगाच्या वेगवेगळ्या ठिकाणावरून त्यांना वेगवेगळ्या आयडियाज, वेगवेगळ्या कल्पना, वेगवेगळ्या गोष्टी त्यांना मिळत होत्या आणि त्या आधारावर खऱ्या अर्थाने ब्रिटनमध्ये औद्योगिक क्रांतीला सुरुवात झाली होती असं म्हणतात. परंतु जसजसं प्रत्येक देश स्वतंत्र व्हायला लागले आणि प्रत्येकाला आपल्या अधिकाराची जाणीव व्हायला लागली तेव्हा मग बऱ्याच आयडियाज, बरेच संशोधन, बऱ्याच आयडियाज, बऱ्याच नवीन नवीन गोष्टी ज्या मूळ देशातल्या होत्या त्या चोरून नेऊन किंवा त्यावरती आधारित वेगवेगळ्या प्रकारचे संशोधन केल्या गेले आणि त्या संशोधनाचं संपूर्ण जगभर ही संशोधनं आमची आहेत, आमच्या मूळ संकल्पनेतून ही आलेली आहेत अशा प्रकारे ते मिरवल्या गेले. आपल्याही देशातल्या धर्मग्रंथांमध्ये विमानाचं संपूर्ण डिस्क्रिप्शन सापडतं, अग्निबाणाचं संपूर्ण डिस्क्रिप्शन सापडतं. या वेगवेगळ्या गोष्टी ज्या आहेत या वेगवेगळ्या गोष्टी प्रत्येक देशाला असं वाटत होतं की आपल्या इथनं हे सगळं बौद्धिक संपदा जी आहे बौद्धिक संपदांनी चोरून नेल्याने याच्यावरती त्यांनी पुढे काम केलं आणि ती आपली म्हणून खपवल्या गेली. त्यामुळे मग संपूर्ण विश्वात असा एक मतप्रवाह तयार झाला की ह्या बौद्धिक संपदेला कुठेतरी कायदेशीर अटकाव असावा, कायदेशीर आधार असावा आणि म्हणून हे पेटेंट ही संकल्पना पुढे आली असं मला वाटतं. पेटेंट याला मराठीत आपण असं म्हणतो की एकस्व, म्हणजे एखाद्या विशिष्ट माणसाचा का विशिष्ट समुदायाचा एखाद्या बौद्धिक संपदेवरती अधिकार. तर हे पेटेंट जे आहे हे पेटेंट फाईल करण्याकरता जवळपास आपला देश स्वतंत्र झाल्यापासून हे पेटेंट काय आहे, संशोधन काय आहे, पेटेंट फाईल कसं करावं, पेटेंट फाईल केल्यामुळे काय होतं याच्या बाबत आपल्याला जवळपास देश स्वतंत्र झाल्यापासून 30-40 वर्ष 40-50 वर्ष आपल्याला फारशा जाणीव नव्हती. परंतु अलीकडे या गोष्टीची जाणीव आपल्या संपूर्ण देशभर होते आहे. संपूर्ण देशभर या संदर्भात वेगवेगळ्या प्रकारचे चर्चासत्र आयोजित केले जात आहेत. वेगवेगळ्या प्रकारच्या बौद्धिकांमधनं, वेगवेगळ्या प्रकारच्या सेमिनार्समधनं, कॉन्फरन्सेसमधनं या गोष्टी प्रकर्षाने समोर येतात आहे की पेटेंट कुठलं असावं किंवा पेटेंट कसं असावं, पेटेंट कुठल्या गोष्टीचं आपल्याला करता येतं. या गोष्टीचं या संदर्भातील संपूर्ण इत्थंभूत माहिती मॅडमने तुम्हाला सांगितली आहे. पेटेंट फायलिंगची प्रोसेस जी आहे ती पेटेंट फायलिंगच्या प्रोसेसच्या संदर्भात मी थोडासा रिलेटेड याच्याकरता आहे की माझा मुलगा इंजिनियर झालाय, त्यांनी पण एक पेटेंट फाईल केलंय आणि त्यांना त्याचं पेटेंट फाईल करण्याकरता पेटेंट काय अटर्नी म्हणाला मॅडम कडे जायचं मला पडलं मुलासोबत. त्याच्यामुळे त्यांची ती सगळी प्रोसेस आहे, त्यांची ती सगळी ऍक्टिव्हिटीज आहेत ते मला समजून घेता आली, जवळून पाहता आली. तर ही जी प्रोसेस आहे ही प्रोसेस थोडीशी टेडियस जरी असली, नवीन लोकांना टेडियस जरी असली, तर एकदा एक पेटंट फाईल करण्याकरता तुम्ही जर एकदा प्रोसेस ती फॉलो केली तर मग पुढे ती प्रोसेस तुम्हाला इझी जाईल. माझ्या मुलाने पेटंट फाईल केलं जवळपास 1 वर्षाच्या आधी. ती प्रोसेसमध्ये आहे, ती प्रोसेस पण थोडीशी टेडियस आहे. माझे एक मित्र आहे डॉक्टर भुतडा म्हणून आर्वीचे, त्यांना एक आता नुकतंच पेटंट मिळालंय. ते पेटंट त्यांनी फाईल केलं होतं 2015ला आणि त्यांना अवॉर्ड झालाय 2023ला. तर या सगळ्या प्रोसेसला थोडा वेळ लागतो. या सगळ्या प्रोसेसला वेळ जरी लागत असतात तरी ती आपली बौद्धिक संपदा जर व्हायची असेल, ती आपल्या नावाने जर ती पुढे नावारूपाला यायची असेल, तर थोडासा पेशन्स आपल्याला ठेवावा लागेल आणि या सगळ्या प्रोसेस ज्या आहेत त्या सगळ्या प्रोसेस समजून घ्यायला लागेल. बरेचदा पेटंट फायलिंग करताना आपल्या खूप अनभिज्ञ असतो आपण गोष्टी करता, की आपल्याला म्हणजे पेटंट कुणाला फाईल करता येईल, म्हणजे त्याचे काही एज ग्रुप आहे का, किंवा हे पेटंट फाईल करण्याकरता किंवा हे पेटंटचं एखादा मसुदा तयार करण्याकरता आपल्याला खूप मोठं संशोधन करायला लागेल का, खूप मोठं इन्व्हेन्शन करायला लागेल का, की जगात अशी एखादी नव्यानेच काहीतरी विशिष्ट गोष्ट शोधून काढायला लागेल का. तर याच्या संदर्भात मॅडमने खूप छान सांगितलं की याला एज ग्रुप वगैरे नाही आहे, म्हणजे स्कूल लेव्हलच्या मुलापासून तर अगदी 90 वर्षाच्या जख्म म्हाताऱ्यापर्यंत कोणीही पेटंट फाईल करू शकतो. मी जेव्हा नागपूरच्या ऑफिसला माझ्या मुलाला घेऊन गेलो होतो पेटंट फाईल करण्याकरता, तेव्हा त्या अटर्नीशी चर्चा करताना त्याने असं सांगितलं की नागपुरातला एक शाळकरी 8व्या वर्गातला मुलगा, त्याने एक असं छोटंसं डिव्हाइस शोधून काढलंय की ते डिव्हाइस तुम्ही आपल्या गाडीच्या आतमध्ये बसवलं, 4 व्हीलरच्या आतमध्ये बसवलं तर 4 व्हीलरनी जर समजा एखादा ऍक्सिडेंट केला असेल किंवा हिट अँड रन करून पळाला असेल किंवा ट्रॅफिक सिग्नल वरून समजा तो मर्यादा न पाळता निघून गेला असेल किंवा ट्रॅफिक सिग्नल न पाळता निघून गेला असेल, तर त्या डिव्हाइस मधनं डायरेक्ट आरटीओ ऑफिसला इन्फॉर्मेशन जाते आणि आरटीओ ऑफिस मधून त्या व्हेकलचं सगळं डिटेल काढून त्याला दंड थोठावला जातो. तर तो 8व्या वर्गातला मुलाच्या नावाने ते पेटंट फाईल झालाय आणि ते पेटंट कमर्शियलाइज झालाय आणि त्या 8व्या वर्ग मुलाला चांगल्या पद्धतीने पण मिळतात पेटंटच्या माध्यमात. त्याच्यामुळे याला एज नाही, याला शोधनच पाहिजे. सारा म्हणजे वर्षानुवर्ष तुम्ही खूप रिसर्च करत बसलाय आणि खूप रिसर्च करून 8 वर्षांनी 10 वर्षांनी 15 वर्षांनी काहीतरी आउटपुट निघाला आणि मग आपण पेटंट फाईल केलं असतं. अगदी छोट्या छोट्या गोष्टी मॅडमने सांगितल्यात, कला असेल, लिटरेचर असेल, संगीत असेल, एखादं ड्रॉइंग असेल, संशोधन असेल, या सगळ्या गोष्टीचं पेटंट आपण फाईल करू शकतो आणि त्याचा मिळू आपण त्याचे मालक होऊ. प्रत्येकच पेटंट कमर्शियलाइज होईल हे होणार नाही हे पण मॅडमने सांगितलं. याचं कारण आहे की अमरावतीला एक असे प्राध्यापक नाही प्राचार्य डॉक्टर इंगोले, KT इंगोले, मला वाटते इंजिनिअरिंग कॉलेजचे प्राचार्य होते ते. त्यांना जेव्हा मी माझ्या मुलाला घेऊन भेटायला गेलो होते तेव्हा ते म्हणाले की माझ्या नावाने 35 पेटंट आहेत, 35, परंतु त्यातले कमर्शियलाइज झाले फक्त केवळ 2-3. उरलेले जे 30-32 पेटंट आहेत ते 30 पेटंट माझ्या नावावरती आहेत असं त्यांनी सांगितलं. म्हणजे कमर्शियलाइज प्रत्येक पेटंट कडनं आपल्याला फायनान्शियल बेनिफिट मिळेलच नाही, परंतु या सगळ्या पेटंटची आपल्या नावावर जर नोंद झाली तर आपल्या नावावर जर पेटंटची नोंद होत गेली अशा प्रकारे तर आपला अकॅडमिक्स मधला एक जुबा वाढतो, एक आपल्या अकॅडमिक्स मधलं आपलं वजन वाढतं आणि त्यामुळे आपल्याला संशोधनाला चालना मिळते, आपल्या इतर विद्यार्थ्यांना आपण चालना देऊ शकतो. त्यामुळे आजच्या या सेकंड टेक्निकल सेशनच्या पेटंट फायलिंग प्रोसेसमध्ये मॅडमने सांगितलेली माहिती आपण सर्वांना उपयोगाची होईल अशी मी खात्री बाळगतो आणि NRK कॉलेज, NRK मॉडेल गडगे यांना टेक्निकल चेअरमन होण्याची संधी दिली याबद्दल मी सर्वांचा आभार मानतो. धन्यवाद.
धन्यवाद डॉक्टर विरुळकर सर. यानंतर या सत्राचे आभार व्यक्त करण्याकरता मी या ठिकाणी आमंत्रित करतो आमच्या महाविद्यालयाचे वाणिज्य प्रमुख डॉक्टर रवींद्र सोटके सरांना. सर, आपले स्वागत आहे.
धन्यवाद सर. आजच्या या स्टेट लेवल 1 डे व्हर्च्युअल वर्कशॉपच्या निमित्ताने सहभागी सर्व पार्टिसिपंट,
आवाज नाही येत आहे सर. आवाज येत नाही.
आवाज येते सर आवाज.
हॅलो, येतोय आता?
यस सर.
ओके.
हो येतोय.
चला, धन्यवाद सर. आजच्या या स्टेट लेवल वन डे व्हर्च्युअल वर्कशॉपच्या निमित्ताने सुरुवातीच्या उद्घाटीय समारंभाचे सन्माननीय अध्यक्ष आमच्या महाविद्यालयाचे प्राचार्य डॉक्टर धनवटे सर, त्याच कार्यक्रमाचे उद्घाटक आमच्या संस्थेचे सचिव श्री संदीपजी काळे, या कार्यक्रमाकरिता प्रमुख पाहुणे म्हणून बॅरिस्टर शेषराव वानखेडे महाविद्यालयाचे प्राचार्य डॉक्टर RG टाले सर आणि महाविद्यालयाच्या IQAC चे कोऑर्डिनेटर डॉक्टर उमेश मेश्राम सर यांनी उद्घाटीय कार्यक्रमाकरिता उपस्थिती दर्शवली, याबद्दल मी सर्वांचे आभार व्यक्त करतो. त्यानंतर पहिल्या टेक्निकल सेशन ज्याचा टॉपिक रिसर्च एथिक्स हा होता आणि या टेक्निकल सेशनचे सन्माननीय अध्यक्ष डॉक्टर आशिष ससनकर सर आणि या टेक्निकल सेशनचे रिसोर्स पर्सन डॉक्टर हेमंत कुमार चांडक सर यांनी रिसर्च एथिक्स या टॉपिक वरती एकंदरीत सविस्तर माहिती दिली, जी निश्चितच सर्व पार्टिसिपंटला उपयोगी ठरेल आणि जे नवीन रिसर्चर आहेत त्यांना निश्चितच उपयोगी पडेल. याकरता मी सर्वांचे महाविद्यालयाच्या वतीने आभार व्यक्त करतो. त्यानंतर आताच नुकतं जे दुसरं टेक्निकल सेशन आटोपलं, प्रोसेस ऑफ ई फायलिंग फॉर पेटेंट या विषयावरती, या टेक्निकल सेशनचे सन्माननीय अध्यक्ष आर्ट्स कॉमर्स अँड सायन्स कॉलेज आर्वीचे सन्माननीय प्राचार्य डॉक्टर हरिभाऊ विरुळकर सर, ज्यांनी या विषयाच्या संदर्भात पेटंटच्या संदर्भात माहिती आणि आपले अनुभव व्यक्त केले आणि याच विषयाच्या रिसोर्स पर्सन डॉक्टर नीरज धनवटे मॅडम यांनी रिसर पेटंटच्या संदर्भात जी माहिती सर्व सहभागी प्राध्यापक आणि पार्टिसिपंटला दिलेली आहे, त्याबद्दल मी विरुळकर सर आणि धनवटे मॅडमचं सुद्धा महाविद्यालयाच्या वतीने आभार व्यक्त करतो. या वर्कशॉपच्या आयोजनाकरिता या वर्कशॉपचे ऑर्गनायझिंग सेक्रेटरी प्रोफेसर अतर हुसेन सर, IQAC चे कोऑर्डिनेटर उमेश मेश्राम सर, प्राचार्य धनवटे सर, इतर ऑर्गनायझेशन कमिटीचे मेंबर्स, सर्व सहभागी पार्टिसिपंट, महाविद्यालयाचं सर्व टीचिंग आणि नॉन टीचिंग स्टाफ, या सर्वांचे या निमित्ताने मी महाविद्यालयाच्या वतीने व IQACच्या वतीने आभार व्यक्त करतो. पुनश्च सर्वांचे आभार व्यक्त करून मी इथे थांबतो. धन्यवाद. आणि हे वर्कशॉप इथेच संपलायत असं महाविद्यालयाचे प्राचार्य आणि अध्यक्ष यांच्या वतीने जाहीर करतो. धन्यवाद.